This place is just inspiring. Rich with history and tradition. A shrine. The shining light and ultimate destination for so many. And so few. You see, Omaha's not just another stopping. Not just another spot on the map. It's a link to our past and a clear path ahead. As time ticks away on this magnificent little place, it's not a time for sadness, but a time for reflection. Because no matter at what location or on what hill, it's Omaha that makes the College World Series special. Year after year, as the talent level increases, so does the excitement.
Fastball long down the left field line into the corner, and it's fair. 2 runs are going to score, and it's tied. LeMahieu comes through.
The keepers of Rosenblatt would be proud.
Holy cow, what an at-bat.
The show put on Monday night was one for the ages.
Breaking pitch hit to center field. LSU takes the lead.
We've heard so much about the road to Omaha. Well, here it is. Last stop. It's the CWS Finals. Live from the jump.
Get it up right here, boy.
Time to turn it on.
Capital One presents ESPN's coverage of the College World Series. It's Game 2 of the finals. If LSU wins, they will be national champions for the 6th time. If Texas wins, we have a deciding Game 3 tomorrow night. Texas coach Augie Garrido talked with LSU coach Paul Maneri earlier today.
That was a hell of a game last night, man.
Yeah,
Awesome
I know.
game.
You know, I mean, you've been through so many of them, and so have I. And I don't want to sound self.
I can go either direction.
You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sound. But it was a great game.
It was a great game.
You know, I mean, you lose, you're pissed. You know, but it was.
Well, it breaks your heart, but that's what this game does.
Sure.
In spite of the thunderstorms and the lightning, we expect a crowd of more than 20,000 here at Rosenblatt tonight for Game 2 of the College World Series Finals. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Oral Hershiser, Robin Ventura. It's great to have you with us from the College World Series. And what a great way to start last night. An extra inning game. And Oral, it was LSU that came through in the clutch.
Yeah, in their first 3 wins, they had averaged the victory by 7 runs. So they had to flex their muscle, but in a clutch way. In the 9th inning, DJ LeMahieu came through. They were down to their last out. This double drives in 2 to tie the game. And then we went on to the 11th, and Mikey Montook on a 1-2 curveball up the middle drives in his 6th run of the College World Series. No bigger than that one. And on the mound tonight for the LSU Tigers, Austin Ross takes the mound. His last start against Southern, 6 2/3, 2 earned runs and no decision. That was all the way back in the regionals, but they're giving him the ball tonight, and LSU is hoping for a good one.
Well, last night we expected Texas to put on a display of all of its small ball skills. But, Robin, we got a power surge instead.
Well, they found a power surge at the College World Series. They've hit a lot of home runs. 20% of their home run totals for the year have been hit at this College World Series. 5 of them last night, and they lost. They're going to have to find a way to come back, score some runs, get some momentum, and feel good about themselves because they played a good game last night and still lost.
Let's go down to the field. Aaron Andrews.
Mike, thanks so much. Well, after that tough and dramatic loss for Texas, the players were telling me they were just so exhausted because of the extra innings and also the heat last night. None of them even talked to each other about the loss. They said they wanted to get back into their rooms, rehydrate, and just get some rest. As you guys mentioned, that rain delay today, Texas was in their locker room for about an hour and a half, joking around, playing some games, and as several of the guys told me, they feel like that really benefited them. They were able to get some fluids in them, kind of just break up the routine and just chill out a little bit. Also, the rain, it cooled things off here, which is great news at Rosenblatt, and guys like Cameron Rupp, who was the only Longhorn to get an IV last night, really appreciates the nice weather right now.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Kyle Peterson joins us after the break. Then first pitch. Will LSU take its 6th national title, or will Texas send us on to Wednesday night?
It's the CWS Finals, live from the Johnny.
Exciting play in college baseball as Dark Horse Visigoth State took the field. Now that's what I'd call old school baseball. It was over in the ninth with the Visigoths fending off the Jaguars. Literally. Capital One is a proud sponsor of college baseball. What's in your wallet?
Well, we only shoot beautiful things, you see. Action. Cut!
Here comes the paper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area.
She's had work done.
Cut it! See all that one.
I yell cut.
I know.
You've changed. And I love it.
Hey, Matt, what are you doing? Me? Nothing. You didn't think I saw you put the Coke Zero bottle behind your back? We're Coke guys, Matt. We're Coke brand managers. It's unacceptable. All I was doing was I wanted to take a sip to remind myself that Coke Zero stole our taste. Sip. Bottle's empty. You drink the whole thing, Matt. It tastes like Coke. What do you expect me to do? I want you to pull the knife out of my back when I turn around.
Da, 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 da. Gotta love this game. Wow, it's a new ball game. Little League Baseball at its finest. Unbelievable. Goodbye. Home run. Rated A for everyone.
The LensCrafters 50% off my lenses sale. Now with any frame purchase, take 50% off the lenses you need, including bifocals, no lines, and prescription sun. The 50% off my lenses sale ends July 18th, only at LensCrafters.
Welcome back to Omaha. After about an hour and 40-minute rain delay, we're almost ready to go. First, down to Kyle Peterson.
Thank you, Mike. For Paul Maneri and this LSU team, it's almost like he was raised for this moment. The son of a college coach, his father Demi won 1,000 games growing up. Now he leads an LSU program that has won 5 national titles. If they're to win their 6th, they'll have to do it against a team that has done just that. 6 national titles over the years for Texas, and if he's going to win his first, he'll have to do it against one of the best in the game, in Augie Garrido.
If anybody would have asked me before the tournament began, who would you like to meet in the finals, I would have said Texas. Not because I think we have a better chance to beat Texas, but just because of the tradition and the history of Texas Longhorn baseball. And I guess if we're to win our first national championship, speaking of me personally, it's only appropriate that we would have to do it against the winningest coach of all time that's already got 5 national championships in his back pocket. That would certainly make it special if we could pull it off.
And Mikey's got his LSU team playing their best baseball of the year. They lost the opener of the SEC tournament, have not lost yet. They come in tonight, winners of 14 in a row.
And Kyle, have they been impressive out here? They have not made an error. They have played exceptional baseball. And Paul Maneri, one of only 2 coaches to have ever, or one of 4 coaches to have brought 2 programs out to the College World Series. Of course, Augie Garrido has won with 2 different schools. And Paul Maneri trying to fill that one blank on his resume. He could do it tonight if he can go 2-0 against the Texas Rangers, and here come the Tigers. I said Texas Rangers. They might be able to beat the Texas Rangers. Who knows? Take a look at our Capital One starting lineups. The Longhorns with Torres, Tucker, Belt, Moldenauer, Rupp, Keys, Rowe, Clark, and Lloyd. Moldenauer couldn't have had a better night last night.
You're looking for a hot hitter. He's 3 for 3 last night. Has hit all 3 of his home runs for the year at the College World Series, hitting them at the right time.
Austin Ross gets the call for LSU. 6 and 7 Bulldogs.
Well, a very solid college pitcher, a mixed guy completely. The ERA is high because he leaves the ball up sometimes, but he can touch 93. But today, with this win, an odd win for Omaha after the storm. The wind is blowing in, so high mistakes by pitchers you might get away with.
Opponents hitting 300 off of him this year. Here's the defense for LSU. They have been perfect here in Omaha. Landry, Motuk, and Mitchell. Tremendous speed out there. Helenihi, Nola, LeMahieu, and Schimpf across the infield. Schimpf moves from left field in place of Ochinko, and Gibbs is behind the plate. So we always say you need good defense and good pitching to win out here. How about perfect defense? They've been superb.
No champion has ever left here without an error. LSU has a chance to do that.
And they've made all the routine plays, obviously, and a couple of spectacular ones. And this is a team that we discovered early in this tournament simply shows no holes in its game. And Texas desperate to find one tonight because they have to win this one.
Well, I think they have, they have holes, but, you have to find them. And that's the job of Texas tonight, is find yourself a hole and exploit it.
And with a freshman shortstop, Austin Nola, Paul Maneri was prophetic, knowing that he had to improve his defense. During the season, he put Austin Nola in, and that defense improved, and that was all to try and win a national championship.
Here's the weather conditions right now. We expect at least 3 hours of good weather before anything else comes in. It's 82 degrees. Actually really comfortable right now with a northeast wind, which is unusual here. It's swirling. Most of the time it's been blowing in. I know knuckleball pitchers are about the only guys that like to see the wind blowing out. I'm sure you'd love to see flags like this when you were pitching.
Well, whenever you pitch, you always want to know what the wind's doing. If it's swirling here, Austin Ross on the mound needs to be checking with his fielders every inning about what it's doing.
And the fielders need to check on every pitch, don't they?
Especially today. I mean, the wind's been blowing about 4 different ways since that storm came through, and you always want to check the flags. You also want to check anything that's on the stadium just to get a check.
Torres leads it off, a .297 hitter, the starting third baseman for this club. Hasn't done particularly well here in Omaha, only 4 hits and 19 trips, but he does have a home run.
Well, Austin Ross last started on May 29th in the regionals against Southern. He's pitched twice here in the College World Series, both in relief. Once good, once bad.
That one's up and in. Joe Burleson, the home plate umpire. Have 6 working the championship series, right and left field umpires as well. And these guys have done a terrific job out here again this year. And Torres draws the opening walk. And Ross gets an immediate visit from his catcher, Micah Gibbs.
Well, immediately we'll see if Texas wants to play small ball, if they're going to sacrifice the out, or they're going to make Austin Ross throw the ball over the plate before they start their offensive machine.
Well, with the guy throwing four straight balls, you're probably going to take the first pitch at least take till a strike. I mean, I think that's probably what's going to happen. Then you'll see something else happen.
Travis Tucker has 8 sacrifices this year. Most of the guys on this club have done a great job, and this one's thrown away down the right field line by Gibbs as he tried to throw behind the runner. Torres made a wide turn and goes back to second base. First error of the College World Series for LSU.
Well, that's just a case of a bunter bunting through this pitch. He's not bunting it. He takes his bat back, and now the first baseman doesn't go back to the bag. He's not really expecting a throw to first base. And sometimes when you get a lot of different first basemen, you forget to just go back. And you have to go back to the bag just in case.
Ryan Schimpf had played left field for most of this College World Series. He was the late defensive replacement in the shift last night, but he is not the ordinary first baseman. He's the second baseman who moved to left field this year. 1-1 to Tucker as Ross finally got one in the strike zone. Another one in, perfect bunt toward third. Helenihi, nice play, throws him out.
Well, this is a great play by Derek Helenihi. The one thing you know he's going to bunt to your side. As a third baseman, you know this is a great bunt by Travis Tucker, but he comes in, gets it on the bare hand, and gets a strong throw off going to first base. But you have to let go of that ball when your right foot's on the ground so you get the maximum amount of oomph on that ball over to first base.
LSU brings the infield in with a runner at third, one out in the first for Brandon Belt.
Well, I love the decision because LSU has a lot of pop, and they think they can really score some runs. Austin Ross on the mound, probably looking for some support. He doesn't want to just give up that run. So Paul Mainieri showing some confidence in his pitcher and his offense.
Belt, a .326 hitter, fouls this one out of play. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to the Texas first baseman.
Well, you're going into this as a defense. You just made an error, your first error of the tournament. Come back, somebody make a good play to get that momentum back where you feel like you're playing good defense.
High fastball. A ball and 2 strikes to Brandon Belt, who has 8 home runs this year. And most of his power to the opposite field. He struggled yesterday, as did his teammates, with 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. All of their offense came from solo home runs,
which was very unexpected.
And with the wind blowing in tonight, you're not going to expect him to get any of them tonight. Not from guys low in the order, especially. Breaking pitch, base hit, and Texas will take the lead 1-0 on an RBI single.
Well, Belt does a good job not chasing the high fastball. He falls behind in the count, gets into a 2-strike count. Austin Ross tried to give him 2 high fastballs to try and punch him out to save the run. But then the curveball comes back, and you got to bounce this pitch. He throws the curveball for a strike. Right now, you throw a curveball that starts like a middle-of-the-plate fastball and bounces, you got a better chance of getting him out.
And now Russell Moldenauer, who had a game for the ages last night, takes a fastball. Longhorns have been terrific when they jumped on top this year. Moldenauer hitting .417 in Omaha, swings over the top of that one.
Well, you're looking at all these home runs these guys hit. You know, this one right here was just crushed to center field. A couple were windblown, but when you're feeling good at the plate, it just makes your offense that much better going to the plate, especially with an offensive type field. So you don't feel like you have to do too much. All you got to do is put it in the air.
Moldenauer has saved all of his home run power for Omaha. 3 in the College World Series. He had none during the regular season.
I think it's a lot for their offense to come out in the first inning and not hit a home run at all, but actually get a guy on base and knock him in. I mean, that's an important mindset for an offense, especially after the last night with all the home runs, to come back with a base hit to score a guy.
Yeah, I'll bet that is a big confidence lift. Pitch out. Well, Texas changed its entire offense last night. They score runs out here. But in the regular season, only 18% came on home runs. Here, 46.5% have come on home runs. Another pitch out.
Well, 2 pitches earlier, Brandon Belt, you could tell he was leaning. He was trying to read the pitcher going to second base, and he stumbled a little bit before Austin Ross threw to home plate. So now they have 2 pitch outs. So now would be a good time to go.
Moldenauer is a double play candidate if he hits it on the ground. Texas as a team has grounded into 3 double plays in the tournament, and Moldenauer has had all 3 of them. So Augie Garrido is thinking to avoid that. Belt has 14 stolen bases down at first, so he can run. Grounded to short. This could be another double play, but it's booted. The throw across. Not in time. Austin Nola got the force, but couldn't make the play at first. It's not going to be an error at least officially, but it's another poor defensive play by LSU.
Well, it is a ball. He has to keep that in front of him, and that's the first thing that's the most important, and he does a good job with that. This ball's hit up the middle. It's a short hop. It comes up on him, gets it with his glove, and at least gets the guy at second base. You don't always want to have to get two, but this is a good play by Austin Nola to just get it over there, give your first baseman a chance to catch it. But he does a nice job of just keeping it in front of him and getting the guy out at second base. The worst case scenario is you try and do too much and you don't get either of them. Make sure you get one of them.
Palmineri came out to ask about it. So Moldenauer is at first with 2 out for Cameron Rupp, the right-handed batting catcher. Drafted by the Nationals last year. Line drive into right. That's a base hit. Moldenauer will hold at second base. The second single of the inning. This all started with a base on balls to Torres and an error on the catcher's throw trying to pick him off at first. Ross has been no secret here in the first inning. And now Kevin Keys, who is having one of the best World Series for this team. Big kid, 6'4", 225. Hitting .400 here in Omaha. Takes a fastball at the knees. .400 in the regional and super regional, so he is on fire in postseason, exactly what you want.
He's a very good low ball hitter. You see where he's taking his little practice swing down there? He's telling you where he likes it. Guys will usually take practice swings for their favorite pitches. Now, I know Robin never did that because he was crafty.
I never took a practice swing.
That's true. You didn't want to give me any information.
Keys last night had one of the solo shots.
Well, like Oral said, this ball's down, and he likes it down. Keeps his head down, just drops the hammer, drops that barrel right on it. And that's where he likes it. He doesn't want the ball up. He wants it down and in, which is odd for a righty.
Breaking pitch, chopped outside third, foul.
Well, the 2 fastballs that Austin Ross threw to Mr. Belt that were up, that he tried to get the strikeout out with man on third.
Belt high?
No, he needs to throw the high fastball to Mr. Kevin Keys. And right now, he's made an adjustment, and he's keeping the ball down, but he's doing it to a low ball hitter. He needs to climb the ladder with this guy.
A ball and 2 strikes. Up and in, foul away.
Well, you saw right there on that swing, he actually has a little hitch with his hands, and that hitch is okay if you're going to drop it on a low ball. But if you hitch your hands a little bit, you drop them, and you get that, see that little buggy whip where all of a sudden the bat's really not in a hitting position when he goes to start. So his swing is going to be late on something on the inner half of the plate.
That's sort of an odd follow-through as well. Fastball skied to straightaway center field. Matuk with the wind pushing it in will make the catch. But a couple of base hits for Texas. And the Longhorns get on the board first. 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first.
Imagine a place where the greatest come together and where the point never really ends.
Plug-and-track GPS technology is now available for everyone from mobile monitoring services. Real-time tracking via our website. Plus, panic alerts and speed notifications are sent directly to your cell phone. For your team's safety and your peace of mind. For recreational RVs or boats. For small business drivers or sales individuals. Transfer plug-in track GPS between vehicles. No installation, no upfront cost, as low as $39.95 a month. Find out more about plug-in track at mobile-monitoring.com, a division of Acadian Ambulance Service.
The Yamaha Get Out and Ride event with great financing on Yamaha motorcycles and ATVs. So get into your Yamaha dealer, then get out and ride. Now get up to $1,000 customer cash on select models, plus low monthly payments on every Yamaha.
Visit GN Gonzalez on Chippewa Street in Baton Rouge or online gngonzalez.com.
Welcome back to the College World Series. We're in Omaha, Nebraska, where Texas is leading LSU 1-0. Let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineups for the Tigers of LSU. They come in 55-16. LeMahieu, Schimpf, Dean, Gibbs, Matuk, Mitchell, Landry. That's a lineup change for tonight. Helenihi and Nola. And Mitchell, boy, has he been impressive.
Well, very impressive with all the tools. First-round draft pick by the White Sox. Outstanding young player. And I'll tell you what, a two-sport star looking for his second national championship ring. Already has one from the 07 football team.
And this is Taylor Youngman, who didn't even break a sweat last night when he came into the game.
Well, he's pitched very well here at the College World Series, except for last night. 6 straight balls, was taken out by Augie Garrido, but I think he was trying to get a successful short relief appearance out of him, get Texas to win that game, and then maybe skip him today. But with their backs against the wall, he's going with his freshman ace. And this man at 6'7", throwing that downhill plane, he's going to be an exceptional prospect, not only now, but his junior year, the scouts' eyes are going to light up.
LeMahieu will lead it off against Taylor Youngman, whose ERA overall 2.21 here in Omaha. It is 1.42. LeMahieu has lit it up here at the College World Series at Rosenblatt, hitting .474, 9 hits in 19 trips. Fastball up and in at 92. Another guy who's been on fire in postseason. Fastball low.
Well, if I'm
and Youngman starting off exactly the way he pitched last night.
Yeah, especially if you're LSU, you're gonna, you know what he did last night, and you're gonna come in there, you're gonna make him throw strikes before you do anything. See how he reacts to last night's outing.
Strike at the knees.
LeMahieu has been right in the middle of everything. In the 11th inning, he got on, stole second before Mikey Matuk drove him in.
Fastball chopped toward third. Torres throws him out, one gone in the last inning. Close play at first base. Let's listen to Paul Maneri and first base umpire Steve Manders.
Yep. I said no. Was in the dirt? No, foot was on the bag. His foot was on the, yep. Runner's foot was on the bag.
I thought the other way. I thought you got hurt because the kid stumbled and it looked ugly and the ball's in the dirt.
I thought I had a pretty good look at it. I had his foot on the bag.
Nice audio between Steve Manders and Paul Maneri. Nice gentlemanly exchange.
And he got it right. You know, that's a good call.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to make sure that you get it right, and he did.
You watch for the foot and you listen for the ball. That's the umpire mechanic.
Schimpf swings over the top of one at 85. Another guy with a great year and a great series, great postseason. 5th round draft choice of the Toronto Blue Jays.
It was interesting last night that LSU really had to play a nail biter. You know, they have their first 3 wins. The average difference was 7 runs. Now one was 9, one was 8-4, but it was unbelievable to watch them with their backs against the wall and things that Texas had to do multiple times to get into that game.
1-2 on the corner, struck him out. During this win streak, they've had a lot of laughers. 6+ runs 10 different times, and they have scored first 12 times. Only been behind 6-10 innings during the entire streak. And whenever they've fallen behind, they've responded really well and quickly most of the time. Blake Dean, the power in this lineup, number 2 on the club with 17 home runs. He has driven in 70 this year. Tried to check his swing and couldn't. Love those beads, don't they?
You see him everywhere.
All up and down this lineup. These guys have just great numbers.
It's interesting. The kind of the crowd is maybe a little wet. Hasn't dried out yet. They're not. The rain delay. Usually last night it was really loud early.
Missed with a high fastball, 2-2.
Those young men and women were out there cheering for each individual player at times, hoping to get them to come out of the dugout during the rain delay, chanting their names.
Struck him out. Fan 2 in the first inning. LSU goes scoreless in the first inning for the first time at the College World Series. 1-0 Texas after 1.
There for you and life's daily miracles.
Who's the best? This guy is.
There for you and your guilty pleasures.
At Dodge, we build mechanical bulls. We build freight trains. We build toolboxes. We build field offices. We build fan clubs. We build the all-new, award-winning Dodge Ram. Come see what we've built for you.
I think it's the same.
Introducing the next iPhone. It's the iPhone you love. Now with video. Just one of the amazing new features on the iPhone 3GS. The fastest, most powerful iPhone yet.
All through the tournament, we've looked back at the stars who have made the journey from Omaha to the Bigs. One has gone all the way from Rosenblatt to Cooperstown. Dave Winfield.
1973 was a culmination of a pretty good career at Minnesota. Pitching, hitting, Big Ten champs, All-American. Playing in the College World Series, it's the last chance in the highest level of non-professional baseball. So it suited me well and just kind of prepared me for that next step in professional baseball.
Drafted high in all 3 major sports. Even though he never played college football, they thought, why not? Well, with all that talent.
Yeah, he was a great pitcher. There's a great story of him pitching, 8 innings going out in the left field. And USC started coming back, and they wanted to bring him back in. They're going to try and bring him back in. He was such a good pitcher.
He said no.
He said, not today. I'm going to be in San Diego next week. Yeah, maybe the Padres said no.
As it turned out, pitching was not going to be his forte. Connor Rowe will lead it off for Texas here in the second. We'll see the 7, 8, 9 men in the order. Tapped out in front of the plate. That's foul.
Connor Rowe's deceptive center fielder. He's very fast twitch guy, quick out there. That equates into a fast twitch at the plate. Got quick hands, quick bat speed.
No matter what happens the rest of his life, he will remember the walk-off homer to beat Arizona State the other night. That one's on the corner. Only his 8th home run of the season. That was it.
Little backdoor breaking ball that created that little pile right there that he got out in front of and flicked out of here.
Did he check his swing? He did check it. 2-2.
Well, this is a slider down and away, and he's trying to stay on that inside pitch, and he becomes susceptible to that pitch going away from him.
Fastball back inside, a bullet right to Helenihi at third. There's Les Miles, the LSU head football coach who won the championship a couple of years ago, here supporting the baseball program. And it's nice to see all those coaches. Roy Williams did it with North Carolina. Coaches from other sports showing up to show their support. And we're told Les is tweeting.
Is he tweeting Kyle? He's trying to get on Kyle's Facebook page, I'm sure.
Oh, he's looking for Kyle. This ball is hit deep to left field. Landry out of here. Landry got back to the track. That's as far as he could go, and Preston Clark with a home run.
Well, one of the things with having this late start is the shadows aren't very bad. And this is a slider that just hangs in the middle of the plate, and Preston Clark knows what to do with it. All these guys are really getting some good swings on Austin Ross. It's just one of the things you got to get the ball down, especially in a ballpark that's as good to hit in as this one.
And here's another guy, Preston Clark. That's only his 3rd home run this year. It's the guys with no numbers who have produced.
The different sizes in the stadium. Texas plays at home in a big ballpark. And Augie's kind of designed the team around that with small ball, line drives, and ground balls. But since they've gotten here and they've gotten to play a lot of games, you guys have established some fly balls, a little bit of an uppercut, got some backspin on some balls, and driven it out of here.
It's like, okay, boys, take a look and swing away. And now Brandon Lloyd stands in at 293. He's out of Rowlett, Texas. Drafted out of high school by the Orioles, but wanted to play ball at Texas. What's ironic is that Les Miles is trying to tweet with Kyle, and they're about 35 feet from each other. He can just wave at him.
Well, 15-year-olds text each other when they're right next to each other, so that
that was the 7th different Longhorn to homer in the College World Series. Fastball misses here. And Texas knows they're going to need more than 2 runs to beat LSU. They're just going to try to add on and add on and add on. Breaking pitch. Down to third. Boy, Helenihi has been good down there. Throws out Loy for the 2nd out of the inning. Well, we talked about this being a smaller ballpark and a home run friendly ballpark. Look at the power alleys. Much bigger at Dish Fog Field. And the home run disparity, 40 games they played to hit 18 home runs. They've hit 12 and only 5 out here.
Well, it's not just the distance. It's just the way the ball carries as well. There's a lot of wind. It's lighter here. It's just a different place to hit.
This one's through the hole in the left field for Torres back at the top of the order. He walked in the first, singles here in the second. Youngman watching that lead go up. That's the best place to be, isn't it? The dugout when your team is pounding away.
As a starting pitcher, you sit there and say, boys, take all the time you want if you're getting runs. I'll figure out a way to stay loose.
Tucker sacrificed his first time up, hitting .295 on the season, .412 here.
Hey, back.
And has one of those solo home runs that we talked about. Torres, 12 steals and 13 tries this year if they want to run. Texas' first couple innings have been very good. Fouled out of play. This is going to be catcher's interference, as that swing tipped the glove of Micah Gibbs.
This is the second time we've seen this called here in the College World Series. The catchers get a little aggressive, either reaching out for the pitch or a little tight to help their pitcher throw strikes. You see Micah Gibbs right up there, really close. Just kind of emergency swing, hack right there. Glove on the inside, just catching the edge of it.
Moldenauer is in. That's the second of the game. Errors on Micah Gibbs, who was Team USA's catcher a year ago, will play again this year. He's a good one. Unusual for him to make mistakes.
I don't know if that, if the catcher's glove doesn't go past where the end of the batter's box is, I don't think you should be able to reach back. I don't know if it happened on that particular occasion, but earlier in the tournament, obviously that one was a little bit different. But if he doesn't reach all the way out there and you're kind of swinging backwards, you got to have a little leadway.
It's an odd feeling, too, when the bat touches the catcher's glove. You're first off,
everybody looks around when it happens, because it's such an odd play that everybody, when the umpire comes out saying, we have interference, everybody's looking around like, on who?
It's one of those things you hear two sounds. Fastball right in there. And 3-1, and LSU quickly getting somebody ready. That's Nolan Cain, the right-hander. You never want a game to get out of hand early, especially when you have a chance to put it away, but they're in danger of doing that right here. Got him picked off. Torres in a rundown, and they got Torres picked off second base. But another home run off the bat of a Texas Longhorn. This from Preston Clark. And it's 2-0 Texas.
In the quiet war between fun and practicality, there are victims, and there are victors. And to the victor go the spoils. All new, all that. Mazda 3.
Now lease a 2010 Mazda 3i Sport for $189 a month for 36 months with $27.84 due at lease signing.
Gotta love this game. Wow, it's a new ball game. Little League Baseball at its finest. Unbelievable. Goodbye. Home run. Rated A for everyone.
Soon there'll be 1 trillion connected devices in the world.
Can you hear them?
Food is talking to store shelves.
Cargo containers are talking to supply chain.
Power lines are talking to the grid.
Now that's smart.
Systems that allow carrots to tell truck drivers how fresh they are.
Roads alert cars about traffic patterns.
Cars alert mechanics before they break down.
When things communicate,
Systems connect.
when systems connect, the world gets smarter. That's what I'm working on. I'm an IBMer. Let's build a smarter planet.
Honey, look at the new Everyday Value Slam from Denny's. It's only through June. Can we go now? I'm almost drooling for it.
Well, when you see the price, you literally will.
Because it's only $3.99?
No, because you're a drooler. You always have been.
Well, you got big ears is what you got going.
2-0 bottom of the second. Texas over LSU. We check in with Kyle Peterson. Kyle.
Thank you, Mike. You know, just a few days ago was Father's Day, and a tough Father's Day for Mikey Matuk. It was 15 years ago that day that he lost his father. His dad, Mike Matuk, was a linebacker at LSU, great college football player, but when Mikey was just 4, passed away unexpectedly due to a heart abnormality. When I talked to Mikey about it today, he said, you know what, was raised by my mom, me and my sister were, but always under the watchful eye of his father's 4 brothers. When I asked him about growing up in the game of baseball, I said, you know, the one guy that made the biggest difference was a guy named Mike Robb. He said, my uncles played football. Not a lot of them played baseball. Mike Robb was the guy that really taught him the game. His mom was there the whole time. And when he hit that home run last night, he said, and that felt good, and I think I got a little help from the guy upstairs.
Yeah, it's tough for a lot of these kids, the circumstances they have grown up, and that's obviously a very difficult thing to go through. So many things you miss. Micah Gibbs, the catcher, leading it off here in the LSU second inning against Taylor Youngman, who has certainly been impressive so far. Gibbs hitting .350 here in Omaha.
Been a big part of this team. 33. Remind you of Jason Varitek, switch hitting captain catcher. Doesn't have the C on his chest, but Paul Maneri says he's right in there with one of the leaders.
This one's chopped slowly toward third. Torres on the run, has plenty of time against the catcher, makes the play. Matuk comes to the plate with a .389 average in Omaha.
Really wasn't sure he wanted to come to LSU, but Mom had to kick him out of the house, get him out of the nest. Really wanted to stay home and be with her.
Takes a high fastball.
Mom must be a good cook. No dummy.
They all are down there, aren't they? His home, Lafayette, Louisiana. Made some spectacular defensive plays from center field. Again, a chopper to third. Torres fires across, 2 gone. Our analyst, Kyle Peterson, you've already seen on Twitter, giving live updates and insights on all the college baseball storylines throughout this College World Series championship. You can search ESPN College World Series on Facebook and become a fan. You get behind-the-scenes access to video, trivia, polls, and discussions. Kyle just tweeting his heart away right now. Here's Jared Mitchell. He's probably the most impressive athlete I've seen out here.
As far as the tools, that's for sure. He really needs some more baseball reps, but the arm, the legs play, the bat speed, the power to come.
I think we can say without fear of contradiction, he's the fastest player we've ever seen at the College World Series. I mean, he's got some serious speed.
Yeah, any ball in the outfield, he's on first base, he has a chance to score.
And against right-handers, he doesn't get cheated. He gets some good rips.
Going for his second national championship ring at the 07 football ring. This one is hit to left. Drops for a base hit.
in front of Preston Clark. Big turn for Jared Mitchell. First hit of the ball game for LSU. It comes with 2 outs here in the second.
Well, this ball's tailing on the outside, and that's really important because he has that open stance. You're going to have to go out and get that ball with Taylor Youngman. He sinks the ball away, and it's important for all these lefties to try and hit the ball the other way and get that out of your mind that you got to pull everything, because really his weakness is going to be you're going to take him the other way.
Mitchell with 36 stolen bases this year. He's been caught 9 times, which is indicative of the fact that he's got the great speed, but he's not a base stealer yet. He's just a runner.
Well, I think that's just yet. That's the key word.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the key word to all that.
Talk about somebody with the tools to have a brilliant future.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the White Sox are high on him. It's, you know, I think that's the other thing. They draft a guy that has all the tools that just, you know, he just needs more time to play. Like Laurel said, he hasn't had a lot of reps in baseball. He's been mostly football.
Leon Landry, the sophomore from Baton Rouge, is at the plate. He's only had 2 official at-bats here in Omaha. He's 0 for 2. He's drawn a walk. Only 3 short of the school record for steals.
He's safe. Well, tools-wise, I mean, he reminds me a lot of Carl Crawford. I think, you know, the way you watch him run, just speed, power, you know, all the things combined. He has a lot of Carl Crawford.
From grounded toward the hole at short, cut off by the third baseman. It's crossed real close, and he beat it. That little spin by Torres, I think, was the difference.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to have a chance at him either way, because if he would have turned the other way, he wouldn't have had a strong enough throw to get him anyway. I mean, that's just what speed does for you.
Well, this is a change in the order, too. Augie Garrido arguing over this right now. Bang, bang play at first, but Leon Landry was not in the lineup yesterday. Sean Ochinko was a right-handed hitter. Pulmonary tried to get another left-handed hitter in the lineup, and his speed and hitting from the left side allowed him to beat this out. If the right-hand hitter hits the same ground ball, he's out.
Well, not only that, you have the fact that Mitchell's running to second base, so there was no chance to get the guy at second base. Right there, you're just between a rock and a hard place trying to find an out.
And he beat it easily, you can tell from the replay. And now Helenihi is trying to break out of a horrible slump. He's 1 for 16 here in Omaha, and he grounds it right at the shortstop and through. Off the glove of War. Mitchell will score easily. Landry is into third base.
Well, we were talking earlier about the distance of the ballparks in Texas and this ballpark, but I think the major difference is the ground. They play on a natural surface in Texas, and now you're playing on dirt, and you got to get over there and try and get yourself in front of that. Balls pick up speed in the infield. As soon as they hit that dirt the first time, you're going to get a nasty hop. So you have to keep that in front of you, especially with a guy at second base. If you don't make the play, at least keep it in front of you.
Here, Texas Stadium, that field turf, the only dirt at the stadium is on the mound.
Yeah,
the rest of it is a field turf.
Yeah, even at home plate, it is all turf. It's just a very odd field, especially, you know, you can play, you get truer hops. Now you go to a grass field, it's different.
Austin Nola, runners at first and third, 2 out. Chased the breaking ball and didn't get it. 0-2. It's a hard hit ball by Helenihi. It's an error on the shortstop. So both teams with early miscues. Nola lays off this one.
Well, Nola has grown leaps and bounds this year. So freshman shortstop started on the bench, observing, was inserted into the lineup for defense, and his averages continued to climb, and his comfort at the plate. Paul Maneri thinks someday he probably hit third for his team. He sees that much as far as his intelligence, the way he has savvy for the game, and Paul really likes this kid. He's a high top recruit. And with a winning university, Paul had enough confidence to insert a freshman into his starting lineup mid-season.
That was part of the lineup change that really jump-started their late season run. Augie Garrido, knowing they had a chance to get out of the inning with nobody scoring. 2-2 to Nola. Breaking pitch called, strike 3. They strand runners at first and third, but LSU pushes one across. Les Miles will be our guest when we come back to Omaha for the College World Series.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
Car all smashed, don't have a cow. Take it to Owens, take it right now. Your insurance may try to steer you away, but request the best, see Owens today. Technology is great, technicians are too. The pros at Owens know just what to do. If your car needs work, get up and get going. You won't sing the blues when you bring it to Owens. Take it, Greg!
Goodwood is much more than a hardware store. Their unlimited Tiger department is filled with LSU jewelry, gifts, and Tiger fashions for all ages. Goodwood has a huge selection of grills like the popular Green Egg, as well as patio furniture, cast iron cookware, refreshment islands, and much, much more.
At Goodwood, we know the way you love to live inside out.
We start the top of the third with Texas leading 2-1, and we check in with Aaron Andrews. Aaron.
All right, Mike, thanks so much. Head coach Les Miles, you were tweeting yourself, right? That's the only person that'll listen to you?
I have some small thousand or so that, listen.
We showed it on SportsCenter last night.
Family.
Absolutely. Coach, honestly, there's really nothing like Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night, but you're here at Rosenblatt, pro LSU crowd. What do you think of this place?
This is a great environment to play a big game, and it's LSU passionate. I mean, I'm certain that the Texas Longhorns are here, but we just don't feel them. And but game's down a run, key piece of the game coming. I like where we're at.
Got a couple of guys on the team. Mitchell, Landry just got a few hits. What's it been like watching them back at home play here in Omaha?
It's really neat. Our football team follows them very closely, and anytime that any of those guys, whether Chad in pitching or Jared gets a hit, our team's all over it, and it's there's a real close relationship from the football team and the baseball team, and it's really neat. It's nice to see an athlete have the opportunity to achieve at the very highest level in two sports.
Right. Serious talk, though. Come on. When Paul Manieri comes into your office, and we all know how intense you are, hey, Les, I need to borrow a couple of guys from the football team. I got to take them out of practice. What is your reaction, really?
Well, it didn't quite go like that. I just want you to know. We recruited guys that played baseball, and they wanted to play baseball, and so we wanted to give them that opportunity, and it wasn't that hard. Paul Manieri is a wonderful man and a great coach, and it's easy to work the schedule out.
What are you going to tweet about this interview? I mean, do I make a passing grade? Do I get one or what?
I beg your pardon?
What are you going to tweet about this interview? Do I get a passing grade or what?
One of the enjoyable moments in the third inning.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. He's such a liar.
I didn't know we graded tweets now. This is Ryan Bird, the new pitcher. He'll come on here in the third, his second appearance in the College World Series, and his 13th game this season.
Senior that's played many roles, kind of a soft lefty with a good curveball.
And he'll face Brandon Belt, who was on base when Michael Torres was caught stealing as they picked him off at second base. Belt 4 hits and 3 driven in here in Omaha. Started his night with a single back in the first inning. Breaking pitch popped up. Helamihi on the grass makes the catch.
I think tonight you might be in for a Johnny Holstaff night for LSU. I think you were expecting Austin Ross to go a little bit further.
Well, Anthony Renata is their guy that could have went tonight on 3 days rest, but he'll go tomorrow if there's a game, or maybe late in this game if they're ahead and Paul Mainieri thinks they can put it away. He's one of their aces that has had a bumpy outing and a good outing, and they think he is back on the beam and ready to go.
If they use him for a few pitches in relief tonight, will he still be able to go in Game 3 as a starter?
Yeah, it'll be like they're doing with Taylor Youngman over on the other side with Texas tonight, having him pitch. Renata. Paul Mainieri was a little bit afraid of the heat and bringing him back on 3 days rest. We had guys cramping. We had Mikey Motuk taking IV during the game. Fortunately for LSU at that time, they had a long inning, were able to get it in them. But 3 days rest, College World Series, a big last outing. I think Paul Mainieri made the right decision in getting him out there and fully rested or in relief tonight.
Of course, with the rain delay and the rain that we had, it cooled off considerably here. Tomorrow is also expected to be very warm, although not as blistering as the last 2 days have been.
Well, this is comfortable right now. This is very nice. Compared to what it was when they were going to actually take their normal BP, it was about 100 degrees, and you know that storm came through here, and now it's about as comfortable as you can get. It's perfect.
3 balls and a strike to Moldenhauer. And he clobbers one to right field. That baby is a mile out of here. Well, how about Russell Moldenhauer? No home runs during the regular season. He comes to Omaha and says, I like this place. 4 home runs at the College World Series.
Well, sometimes you just like ballparks, and Russell Moldenhauer has fallen in love with Rosenblatt Stadium. This is a slider that hangs right in his wheelhouse, inner half, and, you know, when you're feeling it the way Moldenhauer is feeling it, you know, any pitch that's right in the zone, you feel like you can crush.
And he has tied a College World Series record held by several guys with 4 home runs in this series. And I'll guarantee he's the only one that hit all 4 of them here. And had none during the regular season. Boy, that thing was clobbered. Cameron Rupp takes one outside.
I mean, I'm still shocked. You know, they've hit 52 home runs on the year. 13 of them have been hit in these games in Omaha.
Last 3 at-bats Moldenhauer's had have been home runs. He was lifted for a pinch hitter last night, remember?
Well, hopefully the Royals get him, but if they don't, at least the Omaha Royals should get him.
This pitch is popped up behind first base. Going to be a tough play for Mitchell. All that great speed. He can't get there. Cameron Rupp on the way to second. Just a little blooper. No chance for the first baseman Ryan Schimpf, and Jared Mitchell racing in, still couldn't get there.
Well, you love the effort, but this is where baseball reps will give him a little more finesse. I don't think I go for that play with 1 out and allow that runner to get into scoring position, especially after your pitcher just gave up a home run. That was very, very close, I know, but I'm going to keep the double play in order and just play that one safe. He will learn situations. He will learn where to use his speed, but you love the tools and you love the effort.
Runner at second with only 1 out for Kevin Keys. He's 0 for 1 tonight. Texas answering that LSU run in the bottom of the second here as they bat in the top of the third.
Is there such a thing as speed not being your friend?
Yeah, there could be. There could be. But I think he's got, even when he runs bad routes, he's going to catch a lot of balls until he learns how to run good routes. Because he has that kind of speed that he can outrun a ball. He just outrun it.
Yeah, I think there's some guys, they're so fast that
they think they can catch everything.
They can get it, and that's a good thing. I mean, really, for him to go after that ball, I mean, the other thing is it's been wet, so he's going to slide a long way because he is so fast, which is going to allow that. Maybe, on a dry field, he doesn't go as far.
Les Miles getting a lot to tweet about. This one is hit to deep right. Mitchell back on the track. He'll make the catch about 2 steps from the wall. Cameron Rupp will advance to third. Keys gave it a ride, not quite far enough. Now 2 outs.
Well, I was going to say this is a bad matchup for LSU. That low ball hitting outfielder. And then he drives it out there. He does a good job getting back quickly, using the speed. He didn't have to get all the way back. He didn't time it. He got under it, ran to a spot, and it was very good outfield play.
Yeah, he's already got that idea that he can't drift back. He's got to get to a spot and be comfortable with it. Even set himself for the throw pretty well. 2 outs now for Connor Rowe, who lined hard to the third baseman. This time he lines it by the third baseman. And Texas gets another run. Connor Rowe on his way to second. He'll make it standing up. Well, they brought their hitting shoes tonight. Rupp scores, 4-1 Longhorns.
Well, you're worried about all the home runs. You got to be able to knock in a run. And Connor Rowe right here gets a down and in slider and keeps it fair. You really got to get your hands through the ball to be able to keep that fair. It's not always that easy. Sometimes you pull that thing foul, but he does a nice job pulling his hands through, keeping it right inside the third base bag.
Preston Clark stands in with a runner at second. Clark homered back in the second inning to left field. And now Paul Mainieri wants him to stall a little bit as Bird is getting roughed up. Kane is back up and warming. And that may do it for Ryan Bird. Texas trying to steal the momentum after losing it to LSU last night. They've got a good start. They're up 4-1 in the third, and we've got a pitching change.
Coldwell, now all our listings are on any smartphone.
So people can search home listings anytime, anywhere. Isn't technology amazing?
Yeah, but it makes me dizzy.
Coldwell Banker. We never stop moving.
Free hot breakfast. Real value from your friends at Hampton.
Learn how to change my own oil. Think I did something wrong. But you know how pricey these German cars are to maintain, right?
Actually, Volkswagen has no charge scheduled carefree maintenance, even the CC.
No charge, even on the CC.
You know what they say about the best things in life, amigo?
It's awesome for Volkswagen owners.
With John Kruk, I'm Carl Ravitch. Your Baseball Tonight Extra takes you to Isotopes Park in Albuquerque, New Mexico with John Kruk. We're looking at Manny Ramirez. He's facing Manny Parra, who, of course, pitched for the Milwaukee Brewers this season and has since been sent down. So at least a major league quality pitcher against, obviously, a very good hitter. Manny returned to the majors July 3rd. Going to take him a little while to round into form, won't it?
Well, it is, Carl. You know, he took the first couple pitches, just trying to get his timing, trying to get a gauge on Manny Parra, but you know, then Manny Parra decided he's going to get nasty with him. That good breaking ball right there sets up this pitch right here that Manny kind of gets jammed and flares, and you see right there, it's like, my timing's not here, and then he strikes him out with another fastball and ties him up.
0 for 1. Next update shortly, guys.
Looking at Manny Ramirez in his first at bat with the Albuquerque Isotopes. You got to love that nickname.
I played there when they were the Dukes.
Nolan Cain, the new pitcher, the third for LSU tonight. 4.45 ERAs, won 5 games this year. Senior out of Florida. And he comes on with a runner at second. And Texas tonight much better than 24 hours ago. And the game before that as well. The last two, 1 for 9, only 1 run. Tonight they're batting .500 with runners in scoring position. And they're already up 4-1. Right now, Paul Manera just trying to piece together some pitchers to trot out there. Toward the hole and through. Connereau with good speed around third. He'll score. Preston Clark delivers an RBI single.
Well, LSU has had pitchers on the mound so far tonight that need Texas to get out of the strike zone to make outs. These pitchers have not had good enough stuff or location to get people out in the strike zone. Hanging breaking balls, lazy breaking balls, high fastballs. And you could say, oh, the odds were against us. That ball hit the hole, but it still hit pretty hard, and they're hitting the ball hard often. So they're due to find some holes.
50 base hits for the Longhorns in 4 games out here in Omaha. 21 of them have been home runs. But the most impressive thing is the way they have gotten big-time singles and doubles in this game to drive in runs and take the lead. Now Brandon Loy.
Well, that's the biggest thing for me is, you know, you have the game last night where you hit all the solo home runs, and that's nice, but you got to feel a rhythm as an offense that you can knock guys in from second base.
Those 21 extra base hits, not home runs, 8 of them doubles, 13 homers.
And this shows a lot, you know, for them to lose a tough game like they lost last night and to come right out of the chute in the first 3 innings, putting runs up in every inning, shows a lot of moxie out of this group.
Kane misses outside. But what did Augie Garrido say yesterday? We just find a way. That's the way it's been all season long. Find a way to win. Two and one from Kane to Brandon Loy. And that one is speared by LeMahieu, and he throws him out on a very nice play at second base. The inning is over, but LSU adds to its lead, or Texas does. 3 more for the Longhorns. They are a 5-1 middle of the...
How much is this one?
Really?
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 How much?
Really?
Really? Really? Really?
Flooring doesn't have to be really expensive. Come to Lowe's and see our huge selection of tile, carpet, and hardwood floors. All at our everyday low prices, guaranteed.
This looks good.
Really good.
Lowe's. Let's build something together.
Shop at Lowe's and have carpet installed throughout your entire home for just $139.
Big thrill. Small bill. We just made paradise more affordable. Come to Puerto Rico. Get up to $500 in instant credit, spending money, an additional night free, and more. Make plans for Puerto Rico today. You just can't afford to let this thrill pass you by. Book it today with your favorite travel partner or visit gotopuertorico.com. Puerto Rico, explore beyond the shore.
Big day here on SportsCenter. Highlights across the sporting world.
Robert, let's start in the backyard with wiffle ball. The dad brings the heat, but the kid had a heater. Knocks the stuffing out of it, and he takes a digger.
He doesn't touch first, but that's okay. To the driveway. Big game of horse. Devastating if it goes. Oh, but she's off the mark.
That's going to haunt her. Now let's go to backyard soccer. He who hesitates is lost. Except this guy. That's a goal.
No.
This is once-in-a-lifetime stuff here.
The best highlights happen at home.
Take time to be a dad today.
The prestige and the
expectations that go along with the University of Texas baseball program. It's almost like if you go, 4 years of college baseball here and don't get a World Series, it's almost like a failure.
It's in your job description. If you don't know where Omaha is or you don't take the team to Omaha, then you have fallen short of the minimum requirements.
To be able to play at Texas, put on the uniform every day, is something I want to remember the rest of my life.
Texas with 6 national championships, that's second all time. LSU has 5. And the guy who got it going, the legendary Cliff Gustafson, 29 years, won 1,466 games, had national titles in 75 and 83, was also a player for the Longhorns on their 1952 team.
Yeah, and if you're going to put a face on the program for all those years, it's going to be Cliff Gustafson. Many major leaguers had gone through his program and, really ran a great program, but it just always seemed like they were in Omaha. That was the one thing. They were always a winning team.
And how do you replace the legend? You hire another legend. And they did in the person of Augie Garrido. They got him away from Cal State Fullerton, where he won 3 national championships and picked up 2 more in Austin. And is now the winningest college baseball coach ever. DJ LeMahieu leads it off in the LSU 3rd. Boy, and the way Youngman is throwing, 5-1 is a big lead, isn't it?
Well, that error is the only reason he gave up the run, and he's throwing the ball very, very well. He's got great plane to it. He's showing changing speeds.
This one is ripped down the right field line to the wall and off the wall. The leaping Kevin Keys can't get there. And LeMahieu is on his way to 3rd. The throw is wide. He's in there with a leadoff triple.
Well, DJ LeMahieu, this is a ball in the outer half, takes this the other way, not trying to do too much, but he's got a lot of power. I mean, he showed it earlier. Kevin Keys trying to go back and get this ball. Nice effort, hits off the top of the wall. And I think if he actually tries to hit a cutoff man, he would have had a better shot at LeMahieu going to 3rd base. He tried to airmail this all the way, and it wasn't on line. But it's going to go a lot quicker if you get that ball lower and get it in the hands of one of your fielders.
Missed by 6 inches of being a home run for LeMahieu, but he's at 3rd with nobody out for Schimpf. Chases one. The bottom dropped out of that at 84 miles an hour. Schimpf with 3 home runs here. He's the one guy you would expect to have a lot of power coming in, and he's delivered. 22 home runs on the season. Slaps this one. Caught by the second baseman. Little humpback liner, and Tucker chased it to the edge of the infield dirt and made the catch.
Well, comparison to 2 swings on 2 exact pitches to opposite sides of the plate hitters. Schimpf tries to pull a high and away fastball, so he hits it off the end of the bat because there's no more swing left. If he's taking this ball to left field, he hits it like LeMahieu.
Blake Dean trying to get the run home from 3rd with 1 out. Grounds it foul outside first. He was a strikeout victim his first time up.
Well, with the infield playing back, they're giving you the run. You got to make sure that you're going to either hit a ball on the ground or at least hit in the outfield. But hit it up the middle, give LeMahieu a chance to score. Don't hit anything at a corner that's going to be able to come in and get the guy at home plate.
When this kid gets his pitch, he doesn't miss it.
And his best
very
swings,
disciplined.
his best swings are actually to left field. He's had a lot of winning hits, and he's had a lot of good at-bats with guys in scoring position trying to go in that left center gap.
In the dirt, blocked by Rupp. LSU, although the sample is small for tonight, 0 for 2, 16 for 49 is great, just shy of 333. Missed with a fastball. 3 balls and a strike to Blake Dean with Micah Gibbs on deck. Talking about the heart of this batting order for LSU. Walked it.
Not good pitching for me. You're up 4 runs. You don't want to, walk this guy, set up the double play. You trade it out for a run right there. You don't have to pitch around him or pitch backwards or try and fool him. You go right after him. Take a 5-2 lead with 2 out, nobody on. Don't set the table for a potent lineup.
Well, it was a good at bat for me for Blake Dean. Those are sliders at your back leg. It could be tough pitches if he's trying to come out of his shoes and hit a home run. He's staying in the middle of the field and is able to take that. So that's a good at bat on one hand.
The offensive side.
Micah Gibbs now. And Youngman misses again. Now first and third, 1 gone. Infield a double play depth for Gibbs, who is a double play candidate to catcher. Fastball fouled back.
I said Taylor Youngman was throwing very well coming into this inning, and he gave up the hit to LeMahieu. That was a high fastball. And then the little humpback liner to second was a high fastball. And now when he's getting the ball down, it's below the knee and kind of running out of the strike zone. But to throw a strike, he's having to start to elevate.
That one's in there for a called strike, 1-2.
Fine line between having control and command. Command throwing it in the strike zone exactly where you want to corners and the correct height. Control just being able to throw strikes and usually more elevated pitches.
Youngman capable of punching a guy out. More strikeouts than innings pitched this year. Misses with a fastball there.
I think that's one of the things that he probably has the confidence that he feels he can get away with that walk is he can strike people out. And sometimes you have that confidence. You don't care. You just want to make pitches that are going to strike hitters out. And if you walk them, you walk them. But come back and try and throw it again.
Swing and a miss. The 4th strikeout tonight for Taylor Youngman, and a big one there to get the second out of the inning.
The breaking ball early in the at-bat for a strike set up that strikeout. That fastball looks like it could come out of the same window for the called strike breaking ball that he took earlier that was a kind of a cookie. Right there, the 4-seamer blown by him.
Now it's up to Montauk, who grounded out his first time up. Big situation here for LSU, down by 4, even though it's early. Good fastball from Youngman.
95 miles an hour you see on the graphic up there. Montauk was late on good fastballs last night. They gave in to him 1-2 with a curveball. And Mikey actually said that he was sitting on it, kind of getting his foot down and reading the pitch. The curveball sped up his bat.
It's his mom rooting for a base hit. There's a breaking ball hit down to third. They'll go to second for the force. And out of the inning, runners stranded at first and third, and Youngman leaves the hill with a 4-run lead.
The Cinderella story in college baseball has got to be Visigoth State. Not sure if that's a regulation bat. After 6 1/3, the Visigoth skipper goes to his bullpen. Cut to the 9th with a diving stab by the Visigoth shortstop for an out. I think. Capital One is a proud sponsor of college baseball. What's in your wallet?
Witness a piece of golf history. The Travelers Championship, June 22nd through 28th.
Kind of consider myself
a Robin Hood of the directing world.
I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area. They love you like that.
Buick Enclave, the finest luxury crossover ever.
I need some Zen time with this model, thank you.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented on ESPN by Capital One. Now it's time for our Coke Zero game track. 5-1 Texas after 3. Moldenauer has homered 3 times here in the finals, including tonight. Clark also homered. And Youngman has given up only 3 hits in the first 3 innings and fanned 4. Like the hat. Looks Aussie, doesn't it?
That was for Arizona State, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes. Maybe somebody left a hat. For Texas, we'll go back to the top of the order. Michael Torres, who has a single and a walk tonight, and has his average for the College World Series up to 250. Facing Nolan Cain, the 3rd LSU pitcher of the night.
That was a very good changeup right there. Good motion off of a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Comes back with that 82-mile-an-hour changeup. Very deceptive delivery. Kind of short arms it comes out of his shoulder. It'd be hard to pick up one time through the order. Locate his pitches.
And gets the strikeout. Very herky-jerky at the end of his motion. Got that head snap in there and then the delivery. Later in our broadcast, we'll have a special announcement from Lowe's regarding the 2009 Senior Class Award. The award celebrating the loyalty of seniors that honor their 4-year commitment to their university. The Senior Class Award recognizes the student athlete for great achievement during competition and in the classroom while staying in school. Torres down on strikes, and now Travis Tucker, the number 2 hitter in the order. Tucker with a sacrifice and reached on catcher's interference.
Well, I think something Laurel said earlier, if he can get one time through the lineup, it's tough for a lineup if you haven't seen a guy before. You're trying to figure out what he throws. If you can get him one time through the lineup, I think Paul Maneri would be happy.
Down to 3rd. Helenihi throws him out. Anything hit to the left side of this infield the entire series has been an automatic out with Helenihi and Nola. Glad you could join us from Rosenblatt. We're at the College World Series. This is game 2 of the best of 3 final series. And Texas down a game. They have to win tonight to force game 3. LSU, 20 years. This would be their 6th national title. How's that for dominance? Brandon Belt 1 for 2 tonight, popped up and singled. 5th round draft choice of the Giants.
You know, some guys you look at and you just see that they're going to fill out. And then also you're going to see that they have tools, bat speed. He's just going to fill out and be a big, strong young man. And I think a lot of pro scouts would already project him as he's in the wrong batting stance, and that they're going to clean him up a little bit, and you're going to find even more ability.
How much do you mess with somebody and their natural style, their ability to hit a baseball?
Well, I think it happens. You know, you get to the big leagues, there's going to be guys, they just pitch better. You know, they don't miss, the bad pitches that you lay off. Those are ones that are borderline that you get now that are nasty. They're just, the pitchers are better. So when pitchers are better, you got to learn how to hit those pitches. And I think It's always changed over the years, you know, that guys throw sinkers, cutters, change-ups, and split fingers. And as a hitter, you got to learn how to hit that. A lot of guys in college don't know, you know, how to hit that, so you have to make those adjustments.
And I see a closed stance with somebody who has really long arms and long legs, and I think that people are going to be busting him inside. So that's why I'm thinking maybe this is the wrong stance for him. They might get him, once he gets stronger, to be a little bit more upright, to be able to drop the head and extend the arms and get him off the plate. Right now, he's so closed up for a guy who's got such long legs and long arms. I think the big league pitcher will accentuate that inside corner.
Belt draws a walk here. They'll get Moldenauer to the plate, and he has been on a tear. Last 2 ball games, 3 home runs and a single.
Well, he's kind of got a groove swing right now. You see all those swings really look like the same thing. Kind of a low pitch out over the plate, and he put a little uppercut on him. He practices to fight the uppercut right there with the upper hand. But when he goes to swing, he's been dropping that back shoulder with a slight uppercut and really launching some balls.
He was drafted out of high school by the Angels. Takes this one low. Well, let me take you back in the day. You're talking about stances. Nobody messed with Musial. He turned out pretty well. I mean, he had one of the oddest stances you could ever see, and yet he was one of the great hitters of all time.
Thanks for pulling a Hall of Famer out. You know,
certainly.
You want me to pull out another 500 guys that are still in the minor leagues?
I'll stick with Musial. I'm happy with my choice. Ground ball to short. On to first. They finally get Moldenauer out. The inning is over. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 5-1 Texas.
There's no better time to buy Toyota. Buy now, like Toyota Tundra.
It's an awesome vehicle.
And Tacoma.
I got cash back, I got a military discount, I got a great truck at a great price, an amazing deal.
Trucks with the highest retained value.
It's a great time for you to save money and come out and purchase a vehicle from Toyota.
Now take $3,000 cash back on a tough new 09 Tundra, or pocket $1,500 cash when you choose a new 09 Tacoma Double Cab. See your Toyota dealer or visit buyatoyota.com.
Brilliant amber, royal purple, rich deep chocolate, or bright copper. These are the colors of a Abita beer, the true colors of Louisiana. The finest ingredients crafted for the best people. 100% natural, full of flavor, taste, and see. Abita beer, the true colors of Louisiana.
If you love college sports, go to the NCAA.com store. Click on the shop link to find over 100,000 officially licensed items for over 400 college teams, including all of the top brands for jerseys, t-shirts, hats, polos, and more. With great customer service and guaranteed 3-day $4.99 flat rate shipping on every order, go to the NCAA.com store for all your college sports fan needs.
Welcome back. Our score here at the College World Series. Texas over LSU 5-1. Now for a Home Depot coaching clinic. Here's Robin.
Well, we saw 2 different stances in our last 2 hitters. Brandon Belt was going with the closed stance. He was really closed on. What Orel was talking about, the professional pitchers are going to try and exploit the ball on the inner half and bring it back over, kind of what they call a front door. They're going to start at your front hip, bring it back over. So if you're closed off, your first reaction is to flinch, which is now going to allow them to bring that ball over the inside part of the plate. And to try and get to that pitch, your bat's going to have to come all the way back around to get it. So this is where you're really vulnerable. If you're going to go with the open stance, you're going to be open to try and protect against that. Now the backdoor slider and the sinker away are going to get you because you're so open that you're going to have to hit it out here. So you're going to have to be open to close to go to the outside pitch and be vulnerable on the inside pitch.
Oh, as you look at the video, Brandon Belt right here, you see the close. I can see his back leg from his front leg. The hips close, the arms are long. That ball, you see, he just wants to flinch with the hip, and then the hands go out away. And then the open stance, you see the back leg, open stance there. He's looking for that ball in, and he's got to stay on the ball away. that pitch he took right there, and he did it was a really good take. It just wasn't something he wanted to swing at.
Bottom of the fourth, and Jared Mitchell will lead it off. Facing Taylor Youngman. Then there were guys like Robin who were not vulnerable to anything.
He was a pretty good hitter. And the deceiving thing about Robin was his swing was so smooth that he still generated a lot of power. And we see a lot of that where guys are just so smooth. I thought that Dustin Ackley for North Carolina, one of the greatest college hitters we've seen in a long, long time. Very smooth at the plate, but still generates a lot of power. Kind of George Brett-like, Raul Ibanez-like, Carlos Beltran.
Well, we marveled at his numbers. He was hitting, I believe, when he left here, when they were eliminated in the College World Series, he was hitting 420, 400 for his career. But Robin, you beat that.
I was lucky. I think
lucky.
he had a lot more power. I didn't have that kind of power when I was in college. He was able to drive the ball and really hit the ball the other way and pull the ball. I wasn't really good at pulling the ball. It was something I learned once I got into professional baseball, to be able to pull the ball with power, and it's more of a technique. And I wasn't a real big guy, so I had to learn a technique to actually be able to hit a ball out of the ballpark.
Career batting average at Oklahoma State.
Some 428.
It's pretty doggone good.
That's career.
That's some serious eye-hand coordination, and then putting, a lower half with it to keep your eyes stable to be able to keep hitting that ball at that level.
Well, the one thing I had going for me is I had a big rear end, and that helps it hitting.
Stabilizing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it helps me sitting in this chair up here too. I can sit up here for these very long games. I'm okay.
You're padded well?
I'm okay. Everything's going
no fanny fatigue, huh?
No, we're looking. If we go extra innings, I'll be all right.
Jared Mitchell drew the walk. He's about the last guy you want to give a free pass to. A little conference on the mound, broken up by the home plate umpire, and now Landry stands in. He singled his last time up. His first hit here in Omaha. This is the young man who lost his job early in the season as the starting left fielder. Been a pretty good reserve player for him. Hit on the ground to short, to second for one, on to first. No chance to get Landry with that speed, but they do get the force out, and the speedy Mitchell is retired. To keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series stories, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all of the 88 NCAA championships. So Landry aboard with one gone for Helenihi. And you better believe defenses feel a sigh of relief when Mitchell's no longer on base. If he's at first, a single in the gap is a run.
But Landry's that kind of speed too.
Yes, he is.
So it's pretty even trade. It's a little odd for me that Landry swung at the first pitch after getting a leadoff walk and down by 4, especially when you haven't had many at-bats here in the College World Series.
Might be a little antsy. You've got to prove that you deserve to be in there.
This side. Landry has to dive back. He has 9 steals this season. Because you don't look for LSU to be running right now, down by 4 runs in the 4th. Checked his swing on a breaking ball. Hit towards second, could be 2. Nice stab on to second. What a double play. Travis Tucker with the backhand. The little flip to Lloyd. He starts the 4-6-3 double play. Texas defense ends the inning. Very nice.
Don't just watch.
hours. The game. Ready, team?
At Jeep, we build skyscrapers. We build fish finders. We build battery chargers. We build base camps. We build transporters. We build sanctuaries. We build the technologically advanced Jeep Grand Cherokee. Come see what we've built for you.
The LensCrafters 50% off my lenses sale. Now with any frame purchase, take 50% off the lenses you need, including bifocals, no lines, and prescription sun. The 50% off my lenses sale ends July 18th, only at LensCrafters.
Hey. What's this?
It's a promise. One day we'll have our own place.
Being there. It's about protecting what you have and reaching for your dreams. Talk to a State Farm agent and start planning today.
The road to Omaha is long, arduous. Destination, a national title. Nothing is set, so don't forget to stop and see the sights. Because you never know what you might miss. Omaha, Nebraska.
We're entering the 5th inning in a 4-run game. 5-1 Texas with the lead over LSU. Down to Kyle Peterson with Paul Maneri.
Thank you, Mike. Paul, maybe a little different start today than we thought we'd see. Not a lot of errors coming in. One to start this inning, but I want to go to the mound first. The decision was between Anthony Renato and Ross today. You decided to go with Ross. Is it something right now you think at and maybe think about the decision?
You know, I did go with Renato, Kyle, for one simple reason. He's only on 3 days rest. He hadn't pitched on 3 days rest all year, and I thought it was going to be 98 degrees like it was yesterday. And I saw that heat really melt Coleman yesterday, and I thought Renato might go out there and on 3 days rest and give us 3 or 4 innings. I didn't think that'd do anybody any good. So, you know, we went with Ross. He didn't make a lot of good pitches. We tried to change things up, and it got it, you know, gave up a couple more, but we got a lot of baseball left to play.
So how about offensively against Youngman? What needs to happen at the plate?
Well, if we had a leadoff triple and didn't score a run. We need to take advantage. We had a leadoff hitter on base there, and unfortunately, being behind in this score, you just don't want to run into outs, and we hit into a double play. So a lot of baseball left to go, though.
All right, Paul. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. It's a 5-1 Texas lead here in the 5th. It'll be Cameron Rupp, Kevin Keys, and Connor Rowe to hit against Nolan Cain, now working his 3rd inning out of the bullpen as the 3rd LSU pitcher. He's done a nice job.
He's been very good so far. He's mixed his pitches. He's actually changed speeds, changed locations, and he's actually pounded the strike zone.
Just missed with a breaking pitch. Rupp 2 for 2 tonight, a single and a double. Did he check his swing?
The home plate umpire called his swing.
That's Keys on deck, the right fielder. Swing and a miss. Got him. 1 out in the 5th. Tomorrow night, of course, the College World Series presented on ESPN by Capital One will continue if necessary at 7 Eastern. Game 3 on ESPN between LSU and Texas from Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. And right now, the score holds. It will be necessary. LSU won the opener last night. Texas with a 4-run lead here in the 5th. Missed high to Keys, another breaking ball. Keys has been out twice on fly balls, one to center, one to right. That curveball's in there for a strike. Well, Kane's got that
rocking chair going now, doesn't he?
Well, his delivery is very herky-jerky, knees, elbows, shoulders angled, and then he finally lets it all come out, and he hides it really well.
Chopped foul.
Well, anytime you get a guy that's herky-jerky as a hitter, you're looking out there, you're just trying to find where the release point is, and there's a lot of movement, knees, glove. You know, all you really want to do is time it and find the ball, and that's the hardest part, is he's trying to hide that from you.
This one hit foul down the right side. Here's the way it looks if you're a hitter.
See, the kick leg knee gets up there where the ball's going to come out. The glove is guarding the shoulder where the ball's going to come out. Then the glove kind of turns away, and then all of a sudden the arm swing you don't see very much because it's such a high leg kick. So watch the leg kick. It is going to guard the arm swing coming out the back. Then the glove goes up and blocks, and now the ball comes from where the glove was guiding the release point, guarding the release point.
1-2, breaking pitch, line down toward the left field corner, and diving and making the catch is Landry. Boy, they have played some defense, and that's as tough a play as you're going to find, diving to your backhand side.
Well, we were talking earlier about speed, and anytime you have speed in the outfield, you're going to be able to run down some balls. Kevin Keyes gets this ball. It's up in the zone, hammers it into the corner. This ball's tailing away from Landry, and he's able to make that play into that corner, not knowing exactly where the wall is. He can go over here. He can see the chalk line, but he makes a great play in all effort.
Boy, is that a terrific catch by Landry and left. You betcha. He deserves that.
Now, the difference between that dive and the one that we said that Jared Mitchell shouldn't have dove is Jared Mitchell's ball is going to be a single if he doesn't dive. That ball, no matter what, is going to be a double, so you go for it.
Boy, that's just a great play. You know, Oral, as a pitcher, you were so calculating with everything, trying to find every little piece of information you could. Did you work on anything to have to hide the ball a little bit better, or was?
Well, you always do. You have your delivery for throwing strikes and executing your pitches, but what I would do is get a guy like Robin as a teammate, or some other teammate that I thought was a very good hitter with a great eye, and I would bring them down to my bullpen sessions when I wasn't going well, and I would have them watch my bullpen session from each batter's box and tell me what they see. You know, what do you see in my sinker? You seeing it too early? Is it have depth? Does it look like it has a pattern? What do you see in my curveball? Is there a difference in the trajectory between that and my sinker? And the hitters will tell you. Then you go, okay, I got it. Now I'm going to make an adjustment. Tell you what you see now. And you say, okay, now it's better. So you use your hitters to help you find your repertoire that is really going to be effective.
Ball and 2 strikes to Connor Rowe. Was there ever a concern that the guys that were giving you information were going to end up on another ball club and then be able to use it against you? Or?
Yeah, not really, though, because it's going to be a completely different time in our history.
Okay.
What they're seeing, what I'm doing.
On the corner, called strike. LSU with some sensational defense to prevent Texas from adding to the run.
And this is where speed is your friend, and not being in the lineup a whole lot. This is a great effort right here by Leon Landry, and the fans love it.
Would you like to see our new menu?
There's something big happening at Pizza Hut.
Oh, nice. It's a lot of food. Bro, those things are so good. Amazing. I think anybody should eat that whole thing by themselves.
It's like I hit the lottery in food. Now get big meals like our stuffed pizza rolls, Pizza Mia, the Pizzone, and our personal Panormus pizza starting at just $5.
Here's your check.
Look at that. Small fries.
We just feasted for $5. The Big Eat Tiny Price menu. Now you're eating America's favorite pizza. Pizza Hut.
Hey, Max. New car, huh?
Yeah, the Jetta TDI Clean Diesel.
I got a hybrid, so, you know.
A TDI set a Guinness World Record 58 miles per gallon.
58 miles per gallon?
But this baby hauls. It's like... What's your hybrid sound like? That's cool.
Welcome back to the College World Series, where Texas leads LSU. We check in with Erin. She's with Augie Garrido.
Mike, thanks so much. Augie, you've joked a little bit about Taylor Youngman. Wishing you had maybe seen a little bit out of what you've seen tonight from him yesterday. But what have you seen from this guy so far?
He's been really sharp, and this is the way he usually pitches. I think that we put him into a situation that he's not as comfortable in, and that had a lot to do with his inconsistency.
Because you really had to go through the bullpen last night with the heat and the extra innings, what do you expect? How much longer can you go with him?
I think he can make it. You know, I think he can pitch 9 innings. He's strong. He pitches efficiently. We'll just have to see how the game plays out and play it from pitch to pitch.
All right, Augie, thank you.
Thank you.
It was really interesting last night. You could tell Augie was not happy with Youngman. Came in, walked one batter on 4 pitches, went 2-0 on the next hitter, and he went out and got him and took him out. Youngman was obviously not happy to leave, but then this morning Augie took complete responsibility for it and said, we put him in a situation where he was uncomfortable, and that's on us.
Well, you see his breakdown. He has been very efficient. All those pitches he can use, and he has used them. Swinging strikes, you can see they're all effective also. This is a young man who's 10-3 with a 2.21 overall statistic, so he has been on top of it for a freshman all year.
Certainly shown no signs of tiring in this game. Pitch count quite low as we play in the 5th. And he faces the number 9 man in the order of the freshman shortstop Austin Nola. And the pro-Tiger crowd chanting LSU. Fastball hit toward right, but Keys is there for the first out of the inning. Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Smirnoff Ice on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern. The Yankees and the Braves. ESPN News will be shown in New York and Atlanta. Then Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell on ESPN at 8 Eastern. The Yankees wrap up their series against the Mets. Both games part of the AL-NL Showdown presented by State Farm. Look at the numbers on LeMahieu. 476 with 10 hits here in Omaha. He has one of those tonight, a triple off the right field wall. And that's the second one in this inning that Youngman has bounced up there.
Well, DJ LeMahieu was drafted by the Chicago Cubs. Their general manager, Jim Henry, is in the ballpark because of not only some of the players that he's watched and drafted, but his relationship with Paul Mainieri, the LSU skipper.
And Jim was the head baseball coach at Creighton when he brought them to the College World Series. Said LeMahieu went around, 1-1.
It looks like he went. I don't know, Robin. You know, pitcher, I say yes. A hitter, they say no.
Absolutely not.
Strike called at the knees, 1-2. That's what we want, a nice, heated discussion up here.
We'll never agree on that one.
I never figure out how they call it anyway.
That fastball is high. What is your standard? Everybody seems to have a different way of looking at it.
Well, I mean, there's two of them. You can break your wrist, or if the bat goes beyond home plate, those are usually the telltale signs of a swing.
Right back to the mound. Youngman, a little underhand toss up to Brandon Belt. 2 gone.
Taylor Youngman pitched in relief on a Friday and started on a Sunday during the regular season. He's never relieved the day before. Now, that relief appearance was a very brief warm-up, come in, throw 6 balls, and get out. It wasn't a lot of stress, but it was almost like a glorified side work with a little adrenaline to it. So it'll be interesting to see with Augie thinking that, you know, he's been very efficient. I think maybe he could go 9 innings. I think Augie's hoping he can go 9 innings because the bullpen took such work.
Well, the difference has got to be you're at the College World Series in Omaha. You're on the biggest stage that this game can present, and you throw 6 pitches and make that nice and glorious walk to the dugout.
But I'm looking at a young man that might make $180 million in the big leagues, too. He could end up being a top draft pick his junior year. He could end up having a 15-year career. So I've got to watch him, and I've got to make sure I try not to hurt anybody.
Ball's hit hard, but straightaway center field, and the wind driving it back. And an easy play for Connor Rowe. 3 up, 3 down here in the 5th. Texas in command, 5-1 over LSU.
Coverage continues daily at 7 a.m. on ESPN2 and ESPN360.com.
It's an all-out closeout at Robinson Brothers. Everything's on sale.
Get $7,000 in total savings on the 09 Lincoln MKS. Save $10,000 total on 09 Lincoln Town Cars. And buy today, and Lincoln Mercury will cover your first 3 months' payments. Parts and service special. Get the Robinson Brothers Works Package for just $29.95.
Come see all the specials at RobinsonBrothers.com or come see us at either location.
For over 50 years, Southern barbecue sauce has been a grilling favorite in South Louisiana. But in true Cajun fashion, people quickly realized that the savory, all-natural ingredients just might taste good in other recipes. And that was it. Southern barbecue made its way indoors and into dishes throughout Louisiana. Southern Cajun barbecue sauce, the official barbecue sauce of the LSU Fighting Tigers.
Now it's time to look at Lowe's, honoring the winner of the Lowe's Senior Class Award. This year's winner, University of Florida infielder Brandon MacArthur. He helped lead the Gators to the Super Regionals this year, hit .338, had 441 RBIs, 14 doubles to lead the team. In the classroom, he completed his undergraduate degree in criminology and is now working on his master's degree in anthropology, a 4-time SEC academic honor roll selection. Congratulations to Brandon MacArthur. Both of you guys have anthropology degrees, don't you?
Isn't that a store? Isn't that a women's clothing store?
No, but that's good. That's good. Preston Clark will lead it off. And Nolan Cain has now gone 2 1/3, allowing only 1 hit, struck out 3, and walked about. So you couldn't ask for anything more from this senior coming out of the bullpen to hold him close. That pitch was up in the zone and lined for a hit by Clark.
Well, it's going to be your second time through the lineup, and this ball is going to be up in the zone. You now have an idea on what you're seeing from the pitcher, and you know, anytime a ball gets up, it's your second time around, you have just a better idea. This is a nice job by Clark to go ahead with that and take that into left field.
Baseball's certainly a game of adjustments. After you faced a guy the first time, when you come up the second time, depending on what you did, do you expect the same pattern? Do you expect an opposite pattern of what he showed you the first time?
Well, you don't necessarily think the pattern is as much as the curveball. You haven't seen his breaking pitches. Sometimes he has a bigger one. Sometimes he has a tighter one. And when you're going through the first time you've seen him, you get 2 strikes on you. You don't know. So they're chasing balls that are kind of going out of the zone. Now you have a better idea because not only during your at bat, but you're watching when other people are at bat.
Clark at first. Brandon Lloyd, the number 9 man in the order, looked to sacrifice on that first pitch.
The Texas looking to get that 5th run, plus expand this lead.
That bunt is foul.
Or the 5th run as far as leading. And what you're trying to do is LSU has scored 9, 9, 14, and 7. So Augie's not sitting there thinking, they're done. He's looking for the knockout punch to get to 7 or more, because that's right where LSU usually ends up no matter how the game goes. If they get them early or they get them late, they usually get them.
That's right.
Well, right now I'm thinking with Taylor Youngman in there, you better be worried about getting 2. He is pitching a game. And if Augie Garrido's thinking about him stretching him out, 3 more innings, you still have Wood that's in the pen. You still have pitchers that are in there, but it's not like last night where a guy's just, cramping up. He looks pretty strong on the mound.
0-2 to Brandon Lloyd. A lot of the damage has come from the Texas 7, 8, 9 hitters tonight. They're hitting 500 with a home run and driven in 3 of the 5. Swing and a miss. Got it. Back to the top of the order for Torres, who has a single, a walk, and a strikeout in 3 trips to the plate tonight. We are in the Texas 6th inning. The Longhorns on top 5-1.
Michael Torres is the table setter. He has some speed, but he's not one of those flyers. A third baseman that's a leadoff hitter is not usually a flyer, right, Robin?
Not usually.
You don't see many of the leadoff hitters that are third baseman.
Well, he's moved around a lot. He's played different positions. He's been at second, shortstop, left field. So he's not your typical, third baseman. But, Sean Figgins ain't bad.
No, I like him. But you're right. He's not your typical third baseman either.
Yeah, he's messing with the, the normal flow of third baseman. He's bringing the average down.
Which average?
The average of nothing.
Foot?
Yes.
The slow foot average.
Torres started his career at Southern California, transferred to Texas. Kane starting to take a little more time, sometimes a sign of getting tired.
That's a pretty good pitch right there. That's a sharp breaking ball down to a left-hand hitter looking for a rollover double play. He's doing a good job being fast to the plate.
They learn hook him early.
She's a little happier tonight than she was last night.
Good outfit. That one's low. Torres has worked the count to 3-1 with Clark at first base and only 1 out here in the Texas 6th.
Good time for Augie to start the runner. You're fast at the plate. You got a guy 3-1 count. You got a 4-run lead.
Straight away center field. Mata all the way back to the track as that ball carried. 2 out. Tomorrow night, if necessary, the NCAA College World Series presented on ESPN by Capital One will continue with Game 3 of the finals on ESPN between LSU and Texas. We'll be right back here at Rosenblatt. LSU won the opener last night in extra innings. Texas leading this one 5-1. If we have Game 3, hope you can join us. It's been a great series between two legendary programs, and now Daniel Bradshaw is up and warming if necessary, as Kane has done a sparkling job in relief. But has not worked that many innings. Only 30 innings coming into this game all year long. Now Tucker down the right field line, and that will drop. Mitchell over to get it back into the infield, first and third with 2 outs.
Did a nice job not trying to do too much. That ball's breaking down and in, stayed inside it. Jared Mitchell out there in right field does a good job right here. Doesn't overrun it, doesn't overplay it. He eases into this knowing there's a runner on. If he makes the aggressive play and runs over there and tries to make the catch, maybe give up a run, just played it into a routine out. Leave it up to your pitcher to get the final out of this inning.
2 on, 2 out for Brandon Belt. And let's see if that's about as far as Kane is going to go. That certainly wasn't a hard hit ball, but the one before was.
Well, again, we're going, you're now going around the second time of this lineup. Guys have a better idea. It's not necessarily how hard. Preston Clark hit one hard. Michael Torres hits one hard. Travis Tucker dunks one in right field. It's not always the hard ones. It's just getting a better idea and getting your bat on it.
It's not like any one of his pitches will really put any anxiety in a hitter's mind. It's the whole repertoire of pitches, but once that mystery is revealed, now the hitters get more comfortable. They're like, oh, this is what he goes with. Oh, you know what? I really, the changeup and the curveball are kind of the same pitch. They're kind of the same speed, and they end up in the same place. And the fastball's not that overpowering, so this is going to be my approach. And that's where in the second time around the order, the hitters start to catch on.
Kane will stay in there. As you see, he's thrown 44 pitches. And he'll face Brandon Belt, who was singled, walked, and popped out. He's driven in 3 here in Omaha. Much better job tonight with runners in scoring position, 3 for 5. Of course, last night they didn't have runners in scoring position. They just hit one solo home run after another. Pretty close if it's not back. It is reminiscent of what they used to do for gorilla ball. Breaking pitch misses.
This is a big at bat in this game, emotionally for both sides. Texas to try and give a knockout punch, and LSU to avoid a little bit of a disaster and come in with some momentum because they didn't give up any runs.
Check the swing on a fastball.
No, there you go.
3 balls and a strike to Brandon Belt. Barrel did not cross home plate. If that is your standard, he checked it.
I don't give in right here. I'm down by 4 runs. I don't just give in for a 3-1 strike, not to Belt. I've got 2 hitters to get 1 out.
That one was up, popped into shallow left. Nola back on the grass. Makes the catch. They get out of a jam. Texas gone into 6, but they still lead it here in Omaha, 5-1.
These days, when you buy a Hyundai, you tell everyone by email, text, or tweet. You call it social networking. We call it great PR, the kind worth paying for. So now, Hyundai Assurance does. Buy select new models and Hyundai will send you money every month for the rest of the year. And if you lose your income in the next 12 months, you can still return the car. But keep the money, your credit rating, and your integrity. Getting money to send a message. Ain't technology great?
Hey, Mom, I need some minutes.
I just gave you some at the restaurant.
Yeah, no, I threw them out. They were old.
Old? They're rollover minutes. They are as good as new. You know, not everyone gets to keep their unused minutes. And these days, we can't afford to be wasteful. Saving minutes.
Saves money. Yeah.
Only AT&T's Family Talk with rollover saves your family's unused minutes, and saving minutes saves money. Get the LG Neon from AT&T, now only $29.99 after mail-in rebate.
The LensCrafters 50% off my lenses sale. Now with any frame purchase, take 50% off the lenses you need, including bifocals, no lines, and prescription sun. The 50% off my lenses sale ends July 18th, only at LensCrafters.
Gotta love this game. Wow, it's a new ball game. Little League Baseball at its finest. Unbelievable. Goodbye. Home run. Rated A for everyone.
Welcome back to Omaha. And that's been the story. Taylor Youngman tonight. She has shut down LSU on 3 hits as we go to the bottom of the 6th and given the Texas Longhorns a 5-1 lead. And this angular young man has done his job.
67 pitches, very efficient, like Augie said. They went deep into their bullpen yesterday with Austin Wood going 2 2/3. Taylor didn't get an out, but threw 6 pitches. Austin DeSherry went an inning. Brandon Workman went an inning and 2/3. So they're trying to go as deep as they can with Taylor Youngman and get to tomorrow.
He'll face the 3, 4, 5 men in the LSU order: Dean, Gibbs, and Matuk. And Dean takes a called strike. Struck out tonight, hitting .294 here in Omaha with a couple of home runs and driven in 5. All Youngman has done in the College World Series is go 11 1/3 inning and yield only 6 hits. This one is chopped off the plate. Tough play, no. And the ball gets loose. Blake Dean's going to end up at second base. That had tough chance written all over it as soon as it left the bat.
This is a play that's taught one way, and I think it should be taught another way. The pitcher should field this ball. He is the fielder. See how Taylor gives up on that ball? He needs to go and get that ball, because the second baseman is going to be there when it's that high. And I think Taylor ends up being the one that could possibly get it. The play there also is to get completely out of the way once you're not there, because you have to see the second baseman. You've got to get out of the way. You either have to be the fielder or get completely out of the way.
And what Tucker sees at second base is the runner coming from one side, the pitcher coming from the other side, and the ball in between. Good luck.
Yeah, I agree with Oral. You know, as a pitcher, you want him to be a fielder first, and you know the second baseman Tucker is going to be covering first base. So if it's an easier play for you to catch it over your shoulder without it even hitting the ground, once it hits the ground, there's going to be some bad spin, and you never know who's going to get it.
Micah Gibbs, after they get a break, see if LSU can do anything with it.
When you have pitchers fielding practice and you teach your pitchers to be fielders, watch right at the crack of the bat. He should break backwards. Instead of breaking, see, he's in between. Like, do I take that pitcher's angle in the 45 and run to the bag, or do I field the ball? So he was indecisive. Buck Showalter, who I worked with as his pitching coach for 3.5 years at Texas Rangers, said, pitchers, I want you to go get the ball. We'll get the bag second.
They give Blake Dean a base hit. The errors on the second baseman, Travis Tucker, for not being able to field the toss. So LSU with a runner at second, nobody out. Here in the Tigers' 6th inning. Straightaway center field, and Connor Rowe getting himself in position, makes the catch. The runner tags and into third.
Well, I think they're going to appeal second base, and there's a pretty good chance that Blake Dean's going to be out. I think he left a little early, trying to get a head start, because Connor Rowe does a nice job in center field.
And he's out. Holy cow, what a huge out.
Well, Connor Rowe did a nice job in center field of going back and getting momentum going to first base. And that creates the doubt of Blake Dean. You see how far back Connor Rowe gets. And he's going to get a running start when he catches this.
He was early.
You know,
half a step.
Yeah, if you're a runner and you don't have a lot of great speed, you know, you're trying to get any advantage you can get. And that's the one that you try and get, is you're trying to time it perfectly. And he just misstepped it.
That is a huge error. I mean, he's already in scoring position at second base. You're down by 4. You don't want to make that out at third. There's just no reason for that.
Well, they had a leadoff triple where they left that runner stranded, and now they've got a man on second and a chance to move him to third with 1 out, and that's 2 chip-away runs, and that's a big difference in this ball game.
I mean, the standard for him has got to be, I can make it to third or I can't. One or the other. It's not in between.
Well, I think he's going to try to come to third. He just shouldn't leave early.
Well, yeah.
I think the ball hit there, the dead center, that deep. He's got to go for it.
Yeah, and this ball, once he starts running in, you know, it creates doubt of how far he's got to come in. If a guy's just standing there, it's easier to tell when that ball's going to hit his glove. So by him moving it, it changes that eye level for him.
Fastball, Mata called out on strikes. Taylor Youngman sailing along, dominating LSU. That strikeout leaves him with a 5-1 lead through 6 at the College World Series.
Witness a piece of golf history. The Travelers Championship, June 22nd through 28th.
What is a petaflop?
A petaflop is 150,000 computations for every human on the planet per second. This computer can be used to help redesign our energy grid,
Cure diseases in the vascular system.
You could simulate the Big Bang.
We can build
Smarter cities, cut down on crime, disease, gridlock.
global warming.
It can help us make the world work better.
We just broke the petaflop barrier. I'm an IBMer.
Let's build a smarter plan.
Kind of consider myself a Robin Hood of the directing world.
Buick Enclave, the finest luxury crossover ever.
I need some Zen time with this model, thank you.
Welcome back to the College World Series. And it's 5-1 Texas trying to force a deciding Game 3 tomorrow night. The state lead to LSU. Our analyst Kyle Peterson is on Twitter, giving live updates and insight on all the college baseball storylines throughout this championship. You can search ESPN College World Series on Facebook and become a fan to get behind-the-scenes access to video, trivia, polls, and discussions. And let's go down to Mr. Twitter himself. Here's Kyle Peterson.
Thank you, Mike. I've been called much worse before. You know, it's funny. I'm not the only one on Twitter, and this has been really interesting doing this throughout the last couple of weeks through the college baseball postseason. Today, a little note back from Rick Perry, the governor of the state of Texas. He's been following along. He and Bobby Jindal, the governor from the state of Louisiana, have a little bet on this series, too. A little gentleman's bet, of course, for Rick Perry. If Texas loses this, LSU wins, he owes Bobby Jindal some Texas barbecue. And if Texas pulls it out, then Bobby Jindal owes the governor from Texas a little bit of Louisiana seafood. So, guys, there's actually some people following this. I get a little bit nervous down here. I can't type much, so it takes me a while.
It's big thumbs. Russell Moldenhauer, he of all the power here in Omaha, facing Nolan Cain to start the 7th.
It's really interesting after last night's game. A few of the guys got IVs. Kyle was icing his thumbs.
Takes a different skill set these days, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I don't have that skill. I don't have. I know.
You don't text.
15-year-olds, they can
push away.
Oh my goodness, they are quick.
I'm fine with texting, but I don't like computers. They tend to blow up when I walk in the room. Apparently, they don't like me either.
Hey, what is going on around here?
Come on, Jaws. Jeez. Boy, Cain's been impressive, too.
He has. You know, you get that herky-jerky motion that Oro was talking about. And for me as a hitter, the changeup would have been the toughest thing to adjust to. I mean, you know, you have the curveball and everything, but, you know, if a guy has a great changeup, it is tough to hit, especially with a lot of motion like he has.
He doesn't quite drop like Kevin Napier during my generation, our generation, but he's got a lot of that herky-jerky. Kevin Napier dropped on his back leg. The back leg bent a little bit more, but there's a lot of knees and elbows and shoulders and glove all going on right here. And that Kevin Napier pitched in the big leagues for a long time, very successfully.
3-2 to Russell Moldenhauer. That's fouled out of play. Cain came in a very difficult situation. He was the third pitcher used very early, and his predecessors had been knocked around. It was his job to try to keep Texas at 5 runs so the Bats could get him back in the game, and he's done exactly that. No runs in 3 1/3, struck out 4, only allowed 3 hits. Lost him. Now time for our Coke Zero game track from Omaha and the College World Series. Texas jumped on top early, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third. Youngman has been dominant, 4 hits over 6 innings. And the LSU 3, 4, 5 hitters have suffered a power failure. Cameron Rupp, the number 5 hitter in the order. Everybody has bunted this year for Texas. Rupp, big powerful hitter, leading home run hitter on this club, has 2nd sacrifices. 7 sacrifices this year. Let's see if they want him to sacrifice or swing away.
Well, I think it becomes very important right now to get a runner in scoring position, to get that 5th run across. The 6th run, which would be 5 runs. You don't want the grand slam. You don't want one guy at home plate that can tie it up. You want to get a guy in scoring position to be able to knock that run in.
Rupp is 2 for 3 tonight. Checked his swing. What a record when leading after 6, but they lost it last night. That was that defeat. And now Bradshaw is back up and getting warm. Can only expect so much out of Nolan Kane. He misses again.
Paul Maneri's been up on the edge of that bench right there. He thought about coming to get him before this hitter. And he's been in launch position. Nolan Kane has done a great job for them, but might be fatiguing just a little bit. He's making good mistakes right here, just not getting it over the plate.
Now Cameron Rupp, does he have the green light on 3-0? That was just a little bit too high. And Kane has walked the first 2 of the inning. And here comes Paul Maneri as he has seen Kane give up back-to-back base on balls to start the 7th inning. He's got Bradshaw in the bullpen. Let's see what he decides to do. And Bradshaw is ready. And he will. We'll have a pitching change. We'll check it out for you when we come back to the College World Series with Texas leading by 4.
Commitment creates champions. Dedication, perseverance, and teamwork are hallmarks of those who achieve. The NCAA is proud to say thank you to our corporate champions and partners who recognize the important role of athletics and education. By supporting them, you help us create America's champions for tomorrow.
Join the fun from Louisiana Lottery. Guaranteed to keep you smiling like you ought to be. Play again, you could win. It's so easy to see. You need a reason to smile.
It's this summer's blockbuster hit. Play Hotspot Summer from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Win up to 15 times on each ticket. Play Hotspot Summer today.
You need a reason to smile.
Are you frustrated by how much time it takes to get from here to there?
I'd like to check on a flight. Yes, I'll hold.
Speed it up. Get into the sky with the all-new FlyBTR.com. With just a few mouse clicks, you can book flights, hotels, and car rentals, and get a real comparison of your travel costs. If you're ready for departure, why wait? Book all your travel at the new FlyBTR.com, a service of Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport.
Texas trying to force a decisive game 3 tomorrow night. The new pitcher is Daniel Bradshaw, sophomore from West Monroe, Louisiana. 4-0 on the year with a 3.23 ERA.
This young man is a true student athlete. Works very, very hard in the classroom. He works very, very hard on the pitching mound. That 3.23 ERA is nothing to shake a stick at. He's got a nice 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball also. The main out pitch is his changeup.
If LSU can come back and win this ball game somehow, Kane is going to be the hero. He did a terrific job out of the bullpen, but he does leave them with 2 guys on, nobody out for Kevin Keys. Moldenauer at second, Cameron Rupp at first. Keys pops it up right back toward us and just shy of the roof. Ball girl missed that one, and she's being heartily booed.
The umpire got in his way. See, that's what she's telling the other girl. Did you see that? He got in my way. It's unbelievable. Now she's looking at the umpire like he made a bad call on a strike. Now I get booed.
I set a very high standard here. 0-1 to Keys. Breaking pitch. This one is fouled out of play down the right side.
She was like, that's so routine. I've got to have that, but he was in my way.
You got to elbow him.
You got to
get him out of the way. Yeah. He's not in play. He's not in play.
Push him out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were looking for SportsCenter for highlights of everything sport, it's airing on ESPN2 as we continue from here in Omaha. 10:02 local time. 11:02 in the East. Right back up the middle, gloved by Nola on to first. Kid Slick at shortstop.
Well, that's exactly what you're looking for if you're LSU. You're looking to get some quick outs, and this ball's hit very hard up the middle. It stays down. He's able to step on second and get it over to first. Just what the doctor ordered if you're LSU.
Moldenauer advances to third, but there's 2 outs for Connor Rowe. And he likes that high pitch. That's where his power is. Chased one up around the bill of his cap that time.
Well, they must have a pretty good idea on Bradshaw about some off-speed pitches, because that looks like a ball right there. He was sitting on a breaking ball and got a fastball and couldn't hold up.
There's another fastball outside corner at the knees, 0-2.
Kevin Keys had a couple sliders were the first pitches from Bradshaw, and he was taking some healthy hacks at him. As you see right here, they're just waiting for a hanging breaking ball.
Well, there it was, but it's way inside, and that was a spinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do with that one.
Sometimes they're so bad they don't hurt you. Sometimes they're so bad they help you. There's another breaking ball hit toward third. Good play by Helen. Ashley had to let the ball play him a little bit, but stayed with it and got him. Double play helps get him out of the inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th in Omaha.
At Dodge, we build mechanical bulls. We build freight trains. We build toolboxes. We build field offices. We build fan clubs. We build the all-new, award-winning Dodge Ram. Come see what we built for you.
Gotta love this game. Wow, it's a new ball game. Little League Baseball at its finest. Unbelievable. Goodbye. Home run. Rated E for everyone.
Oh, we have to go to Denny's right now. That everyday value slam looks so good.
How come you never talk about me like that?
Because you're not made of bacon.
Well, what if I were?
If you were made of bacon, eggs, and pancakes, I would pay $3.99 for you till the end of June. Happy now?
I think it's the same.
Introducing the next iPhone. It's the iPhone you love. Now with video. Just one of the amazing new features on the iPhone 3GS. The fastest, most powerful iPhone yet.
Welcome back to the College World Series. Texas on top of LSU 5-1. We check in with Aaron.
Hey, Mike. Well, so much has been made about Texas and their dramatic comebacks. 3 straight of them here in Omaha. A lot of questions while these guys were warming up and chilling out during the rain delay about how they would handle such a tough, dramatic loss last night. Well, a lot of the guys said, you know, that rain delay, as we mentioned before, gave them so much of an opportunity just to kind of break up the routine, lay back. And if you want to know how relaxed this team has been, well, they've been dancing here in the dugout, doing some pull-ups over here. And, of course, you know, being up by 4 runs helps that. But they were even relaxed when they left their hotel today. How do I know? 5 of these guys left their jerseys in their room. Poor staff here for the Longhorns had to go back to their hotel and get some of the jerseys for these guys. So really not even thinking about their uniforms to bring to Rosenblatt tonight.
All right, Aaron, thanks. They trailed Southern Miss by 1 in the 8th and won it. Trailed ASU 6-0. That was a big comeback. And down 3-2 in the bottom of the 9th. They win it 4-3. LSU, its biggest deficit since trailing Vandy 4-0 in the SEC tournament. That was the last time they lost in postseason. I can see either one of you guys dancing in the dugout.
No, it wouldn't have happened. Oral did a lot.
Oh, here we go.
Oral did a lot of that.
Yeah. Robin was Mr. Keep the Team Loose.
Well, Oral has that natural athleticism and rhythm.
Absolutely. You can see him doing a lot of that. And he likes not only do it in the dugout, but I mean, he goes out on the town, does a lot of dancing.
Oh, yeah. I remember a Sunday day game when you weren't sure the team was in it. About the second, third inning after we were really flat, you came running in
We're
from
watching
third
the game
base.
right now.
We're running in from third base, and you slid into the gravel, did a pop-up slide into the dugout, and said, "Let's go!" You were a little goofy.
This one hit toward the gap in left center field, but hangs up for Preston Clark, and the dangerous Jared Mitchell is gone. Well, we don't want to leave people hanging with that story. What happened after the pop-up slide?
They pop-up slide right into the Mets bench. Slid into a sunken bench, popped up, and just started yelling to everybody.
It's a blur, sort of?
Yeah. He's one of the better teammates you can have at keeping people loose. He did things like the Green Hornet. He did everything kind of sly, and then all of a sudden he popped up on you.
I'm Robin.
Oh, you're Robin. Sorry.
I'm not the Green Hornet.
Who was the Green Hornet's sidekick? Cato.
So who's Batman, Robin?
Ooh, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only concerned with myself.
Don't apologize.
Landry fouls off the first pitch, getting late for LSU.
Especially against this young man. 12 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 5 walks, 11 Ks here at the College World Series. That's an ERA under .8.
Done his job and more, and Landry now in an 0-2 hole. It make it 1-2. Landry, the defensive play of the game, maybe the College World Series. That's just a brilliant running catch. And it's no fun landing on that track. Just stayed alive.
Well, one of the things I really like that Augie Garrido's doing is nobody's warming up in the bullpen. Nobody has even got off the bench. He's not letting LSU think there is even a chance that Taylor Youngman's coming out of this game. So you're going to have to figure him out before anybody else.
Only 85 pitches so far. This one curling foul. Almost had a double. As Landry goes opposite field against Youngman. His numbers in 4 appearances. Got to be very envious of what he's put up.
If he gets a win here in this game, he'll tie a College World Series record, being 3-0.
Opponent started the night hitting only 136 against him in the College World Series. And he has improved that dramatically tonight, and he strikes out Landry on a fastball. Helenihi will come up with nobody on and 2 out. You can stay up with all of the information on the NCAA College World Series by logging on to NCAA.com. It's the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Doesn't look like fatigue has become any kind of a factor for Youngman. His motion identical to what it was. Still able to get up that normal speed on his fastball, 89, 90 miles an hour.
Very smooth, and he's been repeating his delivery very well. And all the pitches seem to come out of that same arm angle right out of the top. I tell you, Robin, to me, I don't know, we can't be down there in the batter's box. For me, just looking from here, he looks sneaky quick also. Also, he throws the ball very hard, but he looks almost sneaky.
Yeah, he does a little hopscotch when he goes through his windup. He starts on the first base side, he steps a little more towards the third base side, comes through, but when he releases it, he's so close to you because he's so tall that it just jumps on you.
Got him to chase a breaking ball and struck him out on a check swing. 2 Ks in the inning. We've gone through 7. Youngman trying to get Texas back in the finals of the College World Series.
Exciting play in college baseball as Dark Horse Visigoth State took the field. Now that's what I call old school baseball. It was over in the 9th with the Visigoths fending off the Jaguars. Literally. Capital One is a proud sponsor of college baseball. What's in your wallet?
Mr. Palomalo?
Yeah.
You need any help?
Mm-mm.
You want my Coke Zero?
Nah.
Really? You can have it. Coke Zero and
Okay.
a smile.
We're Coke brand managers. Coke Zero stole our taste, and they are not stealing our commercial. Hey, that was for me. Is he coming? Is he coming?
Coke Zero has a life. Have a Coke
Hey, kid.
Zero and a
Cats.
Da, 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 da.
They lay claim to the curve, the rise, the twist. They dig in their heels, demanding nothing less than more, refusing to compromise joy in the name of practicality. We build cars for people like that. We are people like that. All new, all that. Mazda 3.
It is 5-1 Texas over LSU as we enter the top of the 8th here in Omaha. Eddie Sobchak, the College World Series box office manager, doesn't know what it's like to spend a Father's Day away from Rosenblatt. He has been here on the 3rd Sunday in June, get this, for the last 50 years.
Started here 50 years ago. Been the box office manager.
This is my 32nd year of being with my father and working in the ticket office with him. It's really important for me to be here every year with my dad and support him, and it's just great bonding and getting back together with him every year.
ID, please. In the ticket office, I run the will call window and the special needs, so that's why I take care of that. It means a lot for me to spend Father's Day, knowing that the 3rd Sunday in June I'll be spending time with my father and my grandfather.
It's real nice to have them, especially when living in Boston and coming back for the series. It's nice to have your son with you on Father's Day.
In 2007, Mike Sobchak was in India on a business trip and was frantic before Father's Day. Traveled clear across the world to make it back to Omaha. He claims to have traveled further than anyone else to reach the College World Series that year. Now you want to please your dad, anything on Father's Day, anything to get back here, and he's done it for a long, long time. Bradshaw will work against the 8-9 men in the order and then back to the top of the lineup for the Longhorns. Preston Clark leads it off. Breaking pitch, shallow left center field. What a play by Nola. He had the toughest angle of everybody, and he made it look easy. He went a long way, didn't he?
Oh, that's a long way, especially the way this ballpark's been playing the last couple nights. You get the ball, the outfielders are going to break back, and this ball's hit straight up. And one of the things he's doing is he's sprinting all the way there. He's not trying to just time it. He's sprinting to an area. He calls off the outfielders and catches it right over his shoulder. And that's a tough, that's just a tough play. But you have to put your glove in an area and see the ball right over your shoulder into your glove.
This kid's going to be a pretty good shortstop.
That's a great play.
He has shown us everything out here so far, hasn't he?
He's been outstanding. We've seen him make plays to his left, to his right. Now that pop-up might be a little bit of Omar Vizquel. Omar would actually take a routine pop-up if the sun was in his eyes and turn around backwards like that and use the bill of his cap to get the sun out of his eyes on a routine pop-up.
Pretty inventive, isn't it?
Oh, it was absolutely amazing. I'm like, what's he doing? And well, bill of my cap now blocks the sun. I'm away from the sun. They
And he never dropped one.
Oh, no. He didn't drop any. He was amazing. Still is. It's a great sign for the Texas Rangers to bring him over there to school their young shortstop and have Omar there starting once or twice a week to help him out.
Bradshaw 2-2 to the number 9 hitter. Shortstop Brandon Lloyd took something off of that. Down to Helmy. He at third. Fair ball, had to double clutch, and he's safe. Check in with Kyle Peterson. Kyle?
The guy's kind of starting to wind down here a time at Rosenblatt. Last year being next year, and talking about the things that this stadium's seen. It was neat to hear the subjects talk about the time that they've spent here, father and son. I spent a lot of Father's Day here with my dad, too. My parents still have the same seats. I'm sure my pop's here tonight. It's one of those things I think about this stadium that people start to realize here as we get to the end. I think the thing that we need to realize, too, is with this new stadium, TD Ameritrade Field will be based right in downtown, and TD Ameritrade's a company that's been here for over 30 years. It keeps it here for the next 25 years. So I think the bigger thing is that it stays in Omaha. So much is known by Rosenblatt. Obviously, that's great, but I think even more is known because of what the cities did here in the time that the series has been in town. It's great to know that it's not going anywhere for at least another 25 years.
Well, Kyle, there are a few people who have an attachment to this facility and this event the way you do as a fan, coming here as a kid, as a player, coming back here to be able to pitch with Stanford now as a broadcaster and a resident of Omaha. You're about as tight with this event as anybody that's ever been here.
Yeah, it was funny. Rob and I were talking down the line the other day just about the changes in the ballpark, the old cages that used to be out behind left field. He was talking about the times that they used to stand by down the line when you wait for the next team to finish. I mean, it's for college baseball players that have had a chance to play here. So many of the things that will form your memories of college happened right here, whether you won or lost. We never won it. I mean, we came here twice and lost it, and I think Robin's Oklahoma State teams were the same way. But still, I mean, you can remember Jack Payne, who was the announcer here for so many years.
Sure.
Calling my name the first time when I ran out here. Man, I'll never forget that. I mean, those are the kind of things that'll always stick with this place.
Runner goes, got a really good jump throw down to second base, and they can't hold it. He's in there.
I think one of the other things that is created here at Rosenblatt, and it's not just you're a player and you see it, is that ESPN has been such a huge part of creating the dreams and the ideas of wanting to play here on this field. Just, I mean, everything that the cameramen, the producer, directors, Scott Matthews, Scott Johnson, they do a great job of giving you the emotion, and the cameramen do a great job. That's what kids dream of doing. They see these pictures. They see these pictures and these visuals, and if they ever get a chance to come here, that's the stuff that just sends chills up your spine when you run on the field for the first time, is you saw these other players that you looked up to play on the same field.
Well, especially when you're playing, maybe in a 500-seat facility or some places that have, just a couple of bleachers set up to play. The dream is going to be alive to make it here and play in front of 25,000 people in the best minor league ballpark anybody's ever seen.
Well, it's also the best fans. Omaha, the people do such an amazing job of putting on this event and the emotion inside the stadium. This is their baby, and they do a great job of inviting all 8 teams in here.
3-2 to Torres. Tap back toward the mound. Nice play by Bradshaw. Takes it himself as Brandon Lloyd advances to third.
And I think some of the things where the NCAA has loosened up the, putting microphones on the managers, the skippers, putting microphones on the umpires, enriches the experience. And I think that the kids that are at home right now, especially in Texas and Louisiana, they're getting to hear Paul Mainieri speak in between innings and hear him talk to Augie Garrido pregame and go, wow, the parents going, I want my son to play for that guy. And they're not only dreaming about this facility, they're dreaming about universities where they want to go to college and maybe turns their high school career around as far as grades in the classroom and work ethic on the baseball field.
This ball is lined toward right. Jared Mitchell is there, makes the catch to end the inning. Well, the umpires and the coaches have been so gracious to us over the...
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes.
And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
McDonald's and Coke sound good together. Get a large Coke soft drink or sweet tea for just $1.
Nothing brings you back to life like McDonald's and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Right now, grab a large Coke, soft drink, or sweet tea for just $1 cool buck.
You save money when you bundle with Cox. You get 3 services at one low price. You get internet, cable, and telephone. You're surfing, you're watching, you're talking. So if you're looking to save, the bundle is the way to go.
Get the Cox bundle with high-speed internet, standard cable, and digital telephone for only $89.99 a month for 12 months. Call 922-6021 today.
It's a bundle of savings.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series presented on ESPN by Capital One. Rosenblatt Stadium, next to last year that this facility will serve the College World Series. Will be downtown after that, and Texas leading LSU 2-1. And tomorrow night, the NCAA College World Series presented on ESPN by Capital One will continue if it's necessary at 7 Eastern, Game 3 finals on ESPN between LSU and Texas. Right now, the game would be necessary. And the last 2 teams to force Game 3 have won it all. Oregon State in 06, Fresno State last year. Obviously, if you win Game 2 to force that Game 3, the momentum is on your side.
Augie Garrido likes to call it mother momentum, and it can get in any dugout at any time. He says if it's in the other dugout, he wants one of his kids to go over and ask her to dance.
Nola will lead it off in the LSU 8th. They're running out of outs, down by 4. And Youngman just rolling along. He's yielded only 4 hits through 7. Still getting up there pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah, the 2-seamer's been 88 to 89. He's blocked a couple at about 95. Those are 4-seamers up. But really, he's been pitching right there at the low 90 mark.
Good breaking pitch hit on the ground to Torres. 1 out. Now it's time for our Pontiac game-changing performance, and it belongs to Taylor Youngman, who has been masterful here in Omaha.
Well, the big tall drink of water. Got a nice smooth delivery, a quick hand at the end, put some action on that ball. See his line at 94 pitches. He threw 124 in the Big 12 tournament. That's the max for the year.
And still no action in the Texas bullpen as he has 1 out and nobody on here in the 8th. Back to the top of the order for LeMahieu. They're just having a laugher down there.
Yeah, he's going into, his longest outing of the year for Taylor Youngman was 7 2/3 innings pitch against Kansas State in the Big 12 tournament. So giving the bullpen a night off tonight. It's a 1/3 of an inning from tying that.
But the pitch count's far more important than the innings, correct?
Yes and no, depending on where we are in the how hard the pitches are. But yeah, I think his pitch count right now is solid for this length of game.
He's behind 3-1 to LeMahieu. DJ has a triple and 3 trips, and this one again through the shortstop Brandon Lloyd. Second time he played it a little bit side saddle, Robin.
Well, it's the second time this ground ball's happened. One of the things in college baseball is the way the ball's hit. There's a lot of top spin on a ground ball, especially with the aluminum bat, and you'll see it as soon as it gets that last hop right on the dirt. It's a tough one, and the seams are a bit bigger than a Major League Baseball. It creates a tougher job for the infielder to keep that ball in front of you. I believe it's actually tougher to catch a ground ball here than it is in the big leagues, just because of the seams and coming off the aluminum bat.
It's an error on the shortstop, Brandon Loy. His dad played on the '83 Texas team that made it here. And LSU, can they have their first 4-run comeback all year long?
I think back to LSU's offense and how they had a leadoff triple that they left stranded. They got a man on second, tried to move him to third with a fly ball to center. The runner left early. That killed a rally. Those two possible scratch runs would change this situation drastically, because you get a power hitter up there with a man on after an error. 5-3 game instead of 5-1.
Well, I think if it was 5-3, you'd have some guys up in the bullpen.
Well, Schimpf is their power. 22 home runs, fouls this one to the plate, and there is finally some scrambling down there for Texas.
Let's go, let's go. Oh.
Remember, their closer Wood had an extended session last night.
Austin Wood went 2 2/3 innings last night through 42 pitches.
Schimpf 0-2, cues this one toward third. Torres nuts play, throws him out as the runner gets into second. That's the second out of the inning. An error has allowed LeMahieu to second, but 2 gone for Blake Dean. And we're in the bottom of the 8th with LSU trying to stage a comeback. They're down by 4, and this is a game they have to have to force game 3 tomorrow night.
Hey, Maggie, let's play, baby. Hey, knock it down, let's go.
Blake Dean with a single and a walk tonight, along with a strikeout. LSU has had so much success against right-handed pitchers with a sparkling .325 average. Not tonight. Youngman is not your average right-hander.
They're 37-3 when a right-hander starts. That right-handed starter is still on the mound. He's got a 4-run lead.
And threatening to finish what he started.
Well, the other thing, you're going against the #1 pitching staff in the country. You know, you're not throwing some hacks in there. You're throwing some guys that can pitch.
And under Augie Garrido, that has always been the priority in Texas for their recruiting is pitchers. This is why. You can find ways to score runs if you've got enough pitching and good enough pitching, because you're going to win some 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2 that other guys don't win. One and one to Dean. Runner at second. 2 out.
The dominance of Taylor Youngman on the mound, too, is accentuated by the fact that Texas has 3 errors. I mean, he's pitched around 3 errors. He could be winning 5-3, 5-4 right now. We'd still be talking about how great he pitched.
Exactly.
But 5-1, pitching around 3 errors.
In the air, on the infield. Belt now into foul territory, makes the catch. The inning is over. We'll go to the 9th. Texas ahead 5-1 over LSU.
Get
1,000 Hilton Honors bonus points when you stay with us. Real value from your friends at Hampton.
Coldwell, now all our listings are on any smartphone.
So people can search home listings anytime, anywhere. Isn't technology amazing?
Yeah, but it makes me dizzy.
Coldwell Banker. We never stop moving.
Gotta love this game. Wow, it's a new ball game. Little League Baseball at its finest. Unbelievable. Goodbye. Home run. Rated A for everyone.
Learn how to change my own oil. Think I did something wrong. But you know how pricey these German cars are to maintain, right?
Actually, Volkswagen has no charge scheduled carefree maintenance, even the CC.
No charge, even on the CC.
You know what they say about the best things in life, amigo?
It's awesome for Volkswagen owners.
The after party is the one you want to attend. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Another 15 minutes, it may be necessary if Texas holds on to this lead. Here are the starters that we expect to see tomorrow night. Renato for LSU, Cole Green for Texas. Who do you think would have the advantage in that matchup?
Both have thrown well, and Renato back on the beam in his last outing has an outstanding running fastball and breaking ball, has shown that the pressure's not really going to affect him. And Cole Green, Robin got to saw him a few times, thinks he's thrown the ball really well also.
Yeah, he's been very effective in the games that he's been in there. And, you know, he's a competitor. I mean, you see him, he might not have the, 96 that, some of the other guys have, but really a competitor, competes on every batter and throws some tough pitches.
Neither team has had to use its closer tonight. They have not really worn out their pen. Texas hasn't used theirs at all. So you would think everybody would be ready to go in case there's some early trouble. And it would be a true national championship game, the best 2 out of 3. Love this format so much more than the way it used to be with just that single game. Baseball is not a game of single game playoffs. It's a game of series. Bradshaw pours a fastball in there to Brandon Belt. 3-4-5 for Texas as they try to increase their lead with a couple of insurance runs here in the ninth. That one's tipped foul. A ball and 2 strikes to Brandon Belt, who was singled and walked tonight. Line to right on one hop to Mitchell for a base hit. Belt has his second hit of the evening. Wednesday Night Baseball presented by Smirnoff Ice on ESPN2 comes up at 7 Eastern tomorrow night. The Yankees take on the Braves. ESPN News will be shown in New York and Atlanta. Then Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell on ESPN at 8 Eastern. The Yankees will wrap up their series against the Mets. Both games part of the AL-NL Showdown, all presented by State Farm. That's on Sunday night. Moldenauer stands in, a runner at first, and nobody out here in the Texas ninth. They're already up 5-1. What a performance by Moldenauer here in Omaha. 6 hits, 4 of them home runs.
We've seen kids that have come in here with great resumes fail a little bit. We've seen guys with not so good resumes or certain categories of their stats, and all of a sudden they blossom like this young man.
Well, 4 home runs is impressive enough, but add to the fact he didn't have any when he got here. And now he's tied a World Series record with 4. Hits one out here. He done it all by himself. There have been some pretty good hitters come through the College World Series that are tied for that 4-run mark in the record book, including J.D. Drew, who I remember hit 4 bombs out here. Down to first. Throw to second for the force. Got one. Back to first, and they got Moldenauer on the double play. That's a nice play by the first baseman, Ryan Schimpf.
Well, this is a great play by Ryan Schimpf. He comes up and he gets the ball on this first hop. You see him go after the ball to short hop it, but it's the quick feet that he gets over to shortstop. Nola is the key here. See how he gets his feet over there? He gets his feet squared up to second base, gets a good throw. And one of the things in college is you have to go directly through the base. Right. There's no chance for Belt to really, do a slide that you would normally see in the major league. So it's a bit easier for Nola to turn that than it would be for a major league player.
Yeah, Austin Nola knows he's not going to get upended or taken into left field on that slide.
Yeah, you don't have to protect the knees in college as much.
Cameron Rupp now with the bases empty and 2 out. The lines that one hard foul into the Texas bullpen. That hit him. Cameron Rupp, the catcher, aboard. As that fastball came up and in from Bradshaw.
Ball just kind of ran up and in. We've seen a few that have really hurt. Some broken fingers here at the College World Series and the inside fastball, but he's okay.
Looked like it caught him a glancing blow on the forearm. And now Keys taps it right back to the mound. Bradshaw throws him out. Third out of the inning. Can the Tigers come back? We go to the bottom of the 9th. They need 4 to tie and 5 to win here at the College World Series.
Exciting play in college baseball as dark horse Visigoth State took the field. Now that's what I call old school baseball. It was over in the 9th with the Visigoths fending off the Jaguars. Literally. Capital One is a proud sponsor of college baseball. What's in your wallet?
Hey, Matt, what are you doing? Me? Nothing. You didn't think I saw you put the Coke Zero bottle behind your back? We're Coke guys, Matt. We're Coke brand managers. It's unacceptable.
All I was doing was I wanted to take a sip to remind myself that Coke Zero stole our taste.
Sip? Bottle's empty. You drink the whole thing, Matt.
Well, it tastes like Coke. What do you expect me to do?
I want you to pull the knife out of my back when I turn around.
Welcome back to our coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented on ESPN by Capital One. It's been a Longhorn evening, 5-1 over LSU as we go to the bottom of the 9th. If you joined us late, Texas early with power. And then they turned it over to Taylor Youngman. And the right-hander has gone 8 innings, given up 4 hits, 1 unearned run. He has struck out 7. And he's at 106 pitches right now, going for his first complete game of the season. And it would give a big-time rest to the Texas bullpen, taking them into Game 3 for a national championship tomorrow night. And Augie Garrido said early in the ball game that he thought Youngman had the stuff to go 9 and give him a complete game tonight. He's turned out to be the other oracle of Omaha so far tonight.
Well, the young man on the mound has been very efficient, very smooth. We haven't seen his mechanics shift. Augie was exactly right on how good this kid could be tonight. Very fortunate maybe that the heat got cooled down from the storm that came in, because it dropped about 15, 20 degrees around here, and the humidity seemed to go down.
And we haven't had a complete game here since Robert Woodard of North Carolina and Stephen Ferris of Clemson did it back in 2006. And Youngman, obviously our Capital One player of the game, he's just been outstanding. And he will face Gibbs, Montook, and Mitchell for LSU here in the 9th. Some dangerous hitters even at the bottom of the lineup. Landry would be 4th if they can keep it going. What's going through your mind if you're a pitcher in this position role? You got a four-run lead, 9th inning. What do you think?
Keep the ball down, make him hit it on the ground, get ahead in the count. He's been using his two-seamer right there to left-handed hitters, throwing it low and away. He's been elevating and going up the ladder once he gets ahead, and he's been using his breaking ball not only for an out pitch, but to get back into counts. Just keep doing what you're doing and stay in your rhythm.
Montook waiting his turn on deck.
This is when it gets fun for a starting pitcher in the 9th inning, because you become your own closer. And it is an inning unto itself, because you can feel the adrenaline now and you can push to the finish line.
And you're not concerned about anything else going longer if it happens to be tied up. If you give up any runs in this inning, you're going to be gone anyhow, right?
You just empty the tank. You know, if it's fumes, you empty that part. If you still feel like you've got a lot, you use all your bullets. There's no sense of saving an out pitch or setting up a hitter for later. It's just get him out.
Cole Green, who is expected to be the starter tomorrow night, up just in case. Fouled back out of play. 2-2 to Micah Gibbs.
It's the same sequence that Augie used yesterday. He brought in Taylor Youngman, hoping he'd get him through a quick relief appearance. Taylor came in through 6 balls. He got him out quick, said you're starting tomorrow night. And he's got Cole Green up for the same reason tonight, because Austin Wood is not available.
2-2 hit through into left field. So Gibbs starts the bottom of the 9th for LSU with a base hit.
Well, if you're LSU, you're looking for any sign of life. And especially a guy that's gone to the plate already 3 times and hasn't really had that many great at-bats. He starts it off. You got your captains behind the plate, gets a base hit in the left field. Is exactly what you're looking for in the 9th inning.
Youngman has really been able to quiet this LSU crowd most of the night. They're going to be fired up here, and Mikey Montook fouls one off the right side. 1 on, nobody out. Pitch count is up to 113. He has gone, remember, 124 this year.
Hello.
Mikey Montook's mom.
Yeah, I know. The count.
Boy, the pressure on the parents, just unbelievable. They would do anything to have their kids be successful here. 0-1 off the fists and foul. Montook in an 0-2 hole. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded out twice and struck out. That crowd is a force. They really give these kids a lift. Chased a high fastball.
He goes up the ladder. We talked about the fastballs down to get ahead or a ground ball, the breaking balls, and then he shows you the heat above 90, sometimes all the way up to 95.
8 strikeouts for Taylor Youngman. LSU came into this game averaging almost 10 runs a game, hitting .340. Taylor Youngman has had a stranglehold on them tonight. Jared Mitchell 1-on, 1 out. In the dirt. Nice pick by Cameron Rupp. Mitchell with a single, also a walk tonight. Finally had a chance to concentrate on baseball this spring. Was allowed out of spring football practice. Has a national championship ring as a football player. Shooting for another one as a baseball player. Breaking pitch, fouled away, 1-1.
You know, LSU, when they came here to the College World Series, almost felt like they were in their home stadium, as loud as the fans are. And I think the fans are a little late with their cheering here. They averaged 9,600 at new Alex Box Stadium this year, drew over 400,000. But these fans have been sitting on their hands most of the game and have decided to wake up for the big finish. And I think this emotion would have been better spent in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh innings. Well, they could have kept it up.
They did spend a lot in the rain delay.
A lot of energy.
Strike on the corner. Well, they brought a lot of fans. Apparently, most of them forgot their shirts. Mr. and Mrs. Bertman.
The skipper.
A couple of very, very nice people and a legend in college baseball. Fastball just missed. Good eye by Mitchell, 2-2. Well, every time I see this kid come to the plate, I go, oh, he's going to be special. On the ground, outside first, just foul.
He carries himself in a big league manner, not only on the field, but he's up here in our booth doing an interview with Kyle Peterson. We were so impressed with the pre-conversation we had with him. Got to say hi, the way he handled himself in the interview,
the
way he handled himself in just reading little comic strips for us in his contagious laugh.
Very, very bright. Great spokesman for LSU baseball and football, the entire athletic program. 2-2, check swing. Could be a tough play for Torres. Had to gun it across and just got him. Holy cow. Mitchell was flying down the first base line. And here comes Paul Maneri. He thought he had an infield single on a check swing. So did Les.
I think Les is getting fired up for some football season.
Steve Manders down at first. Well, what a huge play this would have been if he'd beaten it out. Out or safe? What do you think?
I think he's out.
I think he got him
by the length of a spike.
Yeah,
that's like a quarter of an inch. It's a great hustle out of the box. That check swing kept him in the box just long enough. If the check swing would have been a little bit more of a swing and not so much of a check, he would have been leaving the box and probably been safe.
That's a heck of a play by Torres because he knows who's running, and he's got to get that ball and get rid of it in a hurry.
Yeah.
That was a sensational play.
Yeah, it becomes a difficult play because you know that guy's fast going out of the box, and you have to air it out. You gotta put everything behind it and be quick with it.
Boy, Net Mitchell's as fast as it gets. Now Leon Landry, the last chance. And LSU has had a total power failure tonight with runners in scoring position. They are 0 for 7. Just think if Mitchell beats that out, 2 runners aboard with only 1 out. Got a real rally going, but it wasn't. And this could, well, it's called a balk before the pitch.
Line up.
So Gibbs will go to third. And I didn't see it in live action when he may have done.
What happens is the pitcher balks. He delivers the ball is still live, and the only thing that can happen negative to the offensive team is the runner's thrown out, it's called back, the runner gets to advance. But if the batter would have got a hit on it, it would have counted. The offense could allow it.
Youngman just pours it in there.
He's probably a quick pitch balk where he didn't stop. And so when he delivers the ball, they call balk, but he threw the ball, so the batter's allowed to swing at it.
It was called immediately. This one's fouled out of play. You pitchers are so sneaky. Any little trick.
Trying to upset the hitter's timing. But they're 1 pitch away from a do-or-die game tomorrow.
2-2 to Landry. Youngman trying for the complete game win. And got it. Taylor Youngman has kept Texas alive. They will play tomorrow night for a national championship.
An amazing night for that young man right there. He was on his game all night. He pitched efficiently. He pitched downhill. He had all 4 of his pitches working. There's only been 3 times this year that this LSU lineup has been held to 1 run, and that young man did it all by himself the 4th time.
Career high 126 pitches for Youngman. 3-0 with a .59 ERA in the College World Series. You just can't do any better than that.
Well, he will be handing the baton to Cole Green tomorrow, the Texas starter. And Anthony Renato will be going for LSU, and they will be going for all of it.
We will see you tomorrow night for a national championship game from Omaha. 5-1 the final tonight. Next on ESPN Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Along with Oral Hershiser, Robin Ventura, Aaron Andrews, Kyle Peterson, and our entire ESPN crew. This is Mike Patrick. So long from the College World Series. Thanks for watching. Now here's Sports Center.